victories by a Pirate here at PNC with 20. The first pitch of the ball game is a strike. 55 degrees outside right now. Ricky Weeks back in that leadoff spot after hitting in the 3-hole last night. 0-1 pitch. That's a breaking ball for a strike.
Oh, Weeks has good speed. They like to get him on and start.
Oh, and Ian Snell's slider's going. It's one of the better ones. He's got to get it going. He did have it working pretty well on Wednesday at Miller Park. 1-0 loss. 0-2 pitch. This is inside and low. Ball and 2 strikes to Ricky Weeks.
Didn't really pop that fastball, just 88 mile an hour. That's a little on the slow side for Ian.
Craig Counsell on deck. Getting a start tonight.
Here comes the slider.
It's just outside. 2-2. One of the challenges that Joe Kerrigan had with Ian Snell, because he likes to pitch away to the right-handed hitters so much, was to get him to pitch inside, and he's been doing that a little bit more, and it's been effective for him, backing guys up a little bit and leaving that outer corner open occasionally. Just a bit of a change in approach. Again, Jaramillo sets up outside, and this one is hit in the air high to left center field. Nate McLouth running over, but Nigel Morgan in front of the track will take care of it for the first out of the ball game. Here's how the Pirates look defensively. Just saw Nigel Morgan make the catch. McLouth in center and Moss in right. LaRoche is on the corners. Ramon Vasquez starting his second game in a row at shortstop. Freddie Sanchez at second, and Jason Jaramillo completes the battery with Ian Snell. And Ramon Vasquez, left-handed hitter, came up with a big hit late in the game last night. Jaramillo drove him home with a double. Veteran glove man playing shortstop in the absence of Jack Wilson. Ryan Pixler has struggled offensively since being called up from AAA, so Vasquez has been getting the nod.
Veteran glove man right there, Craig Counsell. Been around quite a while and played on some very successful clubs.
And notice Counsell's stance too, because he had a very pronounced stance. It was perhaps the most unique in baseball for a while, where he would hold the bat almost straight up in the air. Now he's got it behind his head, but he used to hold that bat straight up. I was down watching him in the cage prior to the game, and seems to get around pretty well on it now, but for whatever reason he's changed that stance.
He's older. As you get older, it's hard to hold that bat up there.
It's as simple as that, the age factor. Two and one to Counsell. And this one will be stopped by Sanchez, and from his knees he's able to get him. And Freddie Sanchez remains down.
Something's happened.
Sanchez is hanging on to his throwing arm there. That's not a good sign.
It was not a real great throw to first base, so I'm not surprised that there's something going on there. Kind of threw a bounce pass over to LaRoche. A shoulder. Maybe he jammed it or something as he was diving for the ball. Boy, hurting that bad. I'm surprised he got the ball to first base at all.
See if his shoulder hits the ground first. Well, it looks like it got extended. Shoulder didn't go right into the turf. His arms just got extended out.
Watch his right arm. He just kind of goes little Superman action there.
Nice little one hopper to LaRoche, but still the concern is over Freddie Sanchez.
Seems to be okay. Putting some pressure on it now, and it looks like he's nodding his head yes.
There's a guy they need to be healthy.
Yeah, a lot of problems with that arm last year. He's going to try and make a couple throws. Our Southwest Field cam shows you the play again.
Seemed like a delayed reaction too. He made the throw, looked up and made sure he got the out. And then he went down. So Sanchez is back up.
Well, we've got enough people hurt.
Don't need any more.
We could use a break in that department. Or not a break, I guess.
Break's the wrong word.
Yeah.
Don't say break, pull, stretch, tear, anything like that. Discomfort doesn't even work. Well, Ryan Braun will come to the plate with 2 outs. His first start in the last few days. Yesterday, he got to the ballpark in the 2nd inning after undergoing an MRI back in Milwaukee yesterday on his upper back. Flew separately from the team and was suited up and ready to go by the 7th inning. He takes strike 1 from Ian Snell. And it was Braun on a 3-2 pitch who delivered a seeing eye base hit. Turned into a couple of runs in the 8th inning, and it was bad news for John Graybo, who was pitching at the time. Sanchez still working the kinks out.
Trying to stretch it a little bit. Put some pressure on the shoulder.
Snell into the wind, the 1-1. Shallow right field. Moss in fair territory makes the grab. 3 up and 3 down for Ian Snell. Freddie Sanchez and the Pirates coming to bat.
PNC, leading the way by Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines has low fares with no hidden fees. Book now on Southwest.com, where what you see is what you pay. By your Toyota dealer, where quality, dependability, and good MPG all come standard. Toyota, moving forward. And by Geico Insurance. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO.
Back here in downtown Pittsburgh, no score. Bottom of the 1st inning. Let's take a look at John Russell's starting lineup against Jeff Suppan and the Brewers. Brought to you by PNC. Nyjer Morgan, Freddie Sanchez, the first 2, Nate McLeod. Hitting .373 at PNC Park with a couple of home runs and 11 runs batted in. Ramon Vasquez hitting in the 7th spot. Jason Jaramillo 8th, and Ian Snell batting 9. Facing Jeff Suppan.
You're going to see a high ERA. Suppan, a type of a pitcher that'll give up a lot of hits, but normally doesn't walk too many people. But this year, in his first 5 starts, he's already got one game where he walked 6 and another one where he walked 4. So at times he has been a little wild.
Andrew Morgan takes strike 1. Morgan, a .295 hitter.
Stuff-wise, you won't see a whole lot from Suppan that's going to pop your eyes out. He'll throw strikes at everything he has.
34-year-old veteran. He has been around. Lives in Milwaukee now. Grew up in California, born in Oklahoma City. Supan's 1-1 pitch. 2 balls and a strike. Freddie Sanchez seems okay with the bat in his hand and the weight on it.
Yeah, that's going to be a little bit of a test when he takes a full cut.
2-2 between innings after Freddie came off the field. He said he was okay. Just rub a little dirt on it, be fine. 2-2 pitch inside 3-2. It's misting out, not really raining, but there is precipitation at this time.
Kind of like just a heavy fog. It's moved down the river, up the river.
Andrew Morgan, 2 doubles and 2 triples. Was without a hit in 5 at-bats last night. Pirates need to get him on and start moving him around the bases again. When he gets on and scores, Pirates tend to win. This one is slapped foul down the left field line.
It's especially important when we're just hitting a lot of singles like we were there for a while. You're not getting extra base hits. You got to use some speed. It really becomes important to get on base.
Payoff pitch. And this one is into the right center field gap, but over to cut it off is Corey Hart. And Morgan is retired. Brewers defensively. Hart in right field. We're in center, Mike Cameron. Ryan Braun back in left field. Did not start last night. Craig Counsell at third. J.J. Hardy and Ricky Weeks, the combination in the middle. Prince Fielder at first, and former Pirate Jason Kendall behind the plate. Ryan Braun appeared as a pinch hitter in the 8th last night. Missed the last couple of games of the Arizona series. Didn't think he was going to play in this series at all. Bill Hall made his first career start in left field last night, moving back from third base. Casey McGee started at third base, and then Hall was injured early. And Freddie Sanchez whips this one down the left field line, and this ball's gone. A home run for Freddie Sanchez, his 3rd of the year. And the Pirates with a 1-0 lead.
Shoulder looked all right on that.
He just rubbed some dirt on it.
Yep.
Like I said, he's fine.
He went up and tested it right away. You know. Let's see. Let me look at my watch. I'm going to say about 8 minutes ago, he was standing in shallow right field with his arm hanging at his side, like he wasn't going to be able to continue. And 7 minutes later, he's jogging around the bases after putting one over the left field fence.
That'll make you feel better. Nate McLouth, he takes a strike. Sanchez had the first home run of the season for the Pirates in St. Louis. And now the most recent. McLouth takes inside. 1 ball and 1 strike to Nate McLouth. McLouth had 306, 4 home runs, 16 runs batted in. One department the Pirates know they need to climb in is the home run totals. And De La Roche hit one last night. It was the first one in over a week. 1-2. We'll go back to Freddie at the plate. Didn't take him long in this at bat to see a pitch he could handle.
Just a fastball up and in, and Suppan doesn't have a lot of steam on that pitch. Freddie easily got to it.
1-2. Duck out of the way. After the game tonight, Pirates will jump on a plane, head over to St. Louis, Missouri, a brief 2-game series with the Cardinals before heading off to New York on the weekend. 1-2, broken bat, slow roller. Ricky Weeks is able to beat Nate McLouth to the bag with the throw. And there are now 2 down. Watch the reaction of Jeff Suppan. Says, give me the ball, but Freddie almost hit the rotunda. And 1-800-SAFE-AUTO reminds you that you're safe at home with Safe Auto, proudly supporting the Obadiah Cole Foundation for prostate cancer screening and awareness. Early detection is the cure.
Watching that replay again, I'm not so sure. Maybe that wasn't a fastball. It looked like it had a little bit of a curl right at the end to it. Might have just been a little cut ball or something that he wanted to get down and didn't get it down. Didn't matter. 1-0.
Adam LaRoche looking out at Jeff Suppan. And he rolls this one down to Ricky Weeks. Weeks takes care of it. But the Pirates get a run as Freddie Sanchez comes back from a sore wing and launches this one deep into the left field bleachers. Pittsburgh, happy Cinco de Mayo. Hopefully no Pirates hitters get the golden sombrero tonight.
No. Time to look at our keys, brought to you by A&L Motors. Snell's stuff. He had kind of a tough 7 innings. He threw great, gave up just 1 run, but it was a battle for him. Threw a lot of pitches. What's his stuff going to be like tonight? So far, he hasn't really been throwing real hard, to be honest with you. And Nate and Adam, even though they both grounded out to second, great numbers against Suppan. So Soup's on for them, and it's a kind of a cold, misty night. Good night for a bowl of soup, huh?
Sure is. I think Prince might have passed on the soup and gone right to the main course.
It's vegetarian. Do the salad bar.
It's a lot of vegetables. He's a big boy.
That big boy doesn't get a hold of one. He is capable of anybody has put one in that river.
2-0. 3 balls and no strikes. Snell being a little careful with him. Fielder 8 for 17 against Ian Snell, hitting .471 against the Pirates earlier. Ball 4. 4-pitch walk to Prince Fielder. And the leadoff man aboard for the Brewers in the second inning, Mike Cameron, coming to the plate.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys in the lineup tonight that have power and could beat you with a long ball. So it's tough to pick out one and say, okay, I'm not going to let this guy beat me tonight. But perhaps with Snell out there and those numbers you just mentioned, it's Fielder, because it sure looked like he was not about to give in and throw anything on the heart of the plate. Even 3-0, he wanted to just try and just tickle the outside corner.
This one will make the seats down the right field side.
So that's what I like about pitching in right there. So for me, pitching in is not in off the plate, making guys move and all that stuff. It's pitching in for strikes and making them adjust their swing unless they want the bat sawed off in their hand every time. And once they adjust the swing and try to get the head out, now you can go to that great slider and maybe get some check swings. But unless they're, looking inside, unless they're aware that they might get jammed on the hands, they can wait a lot longer to make a decision on whether to start the bat. Gives them longer to look and watch that slider.
Cameron to short. Vasquez to Sanchez for one. Back to LaRoche. That's a double play. Good turn by Freddie Sanchez at second base. And a good start by Ramon Vasquez. 6-4-3 in the double play.
Yeah, real aggressive pitching too by Snell. Pitched around fielder, but came right at Cameron pretty much. Did a great job with it. Slider is a little up, but still it was on the outside part of the plate. Cameron tried to pull it, rolled his wrist over, gave him the double play ball.
Corey Hart hitting in the 6th spot. He led off last night. Had 2 hits also. Had a single and a double. And he ropes this one down the line, and that one is going to be off the wall. And around first and heading for second is Corey Hart, in with his 8th double of the season.
Now, there's an inside fastball that the hitter does get around on, gets the head of the bat out there. So even though you give up the double, you still go to school on that and say, okay, he's real quick inside. Watch this fastball. It's in there, and boom, he gets the head of the bat there real quick. Brings the hand in real fast. Now, if you're going to cover that fastball in the inside corner like that, you got to give something up. So for me, Snell's got to go away next time now. Now he's got to start throwing the slower stuff on the outside part of the plate if he's going to be that quick inside. That's what pitching is you're constantly reading the bat, reading the hitter, making your adjustments, as he's trying to do with you.
Here's Hardy. Strike one. J.J. Hardy, 167. He's struggling with the average. See his numbers. Oh, 1 coming to Hardy. And that one's inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. J.J. Hardy was the guy that came up. They loved him at shortstop a handful of years ago, and then he got hurt. Bill Hall had to play there. Bill Hall has played a lot of games in the outfield, over 160 games in the outfield. He's played most of them in the infield. And whenever anybody goes down, it seems like Bill Hall is the guy. Now he's pretty much the everyday third baseman. But yesterday, in the early stages of the game, had his right hamstring cramp up. So he is out, and talked to Ken Maka before the game, and he said, no, he's okay. We're just resting him. Anytime you have a hamstring deal, no matter what, you have to take it very seriously because it can recur. There's Hardy, and a base hit to left field. And Corey Hart's being waved in. Here comes the throw from Nyjer Morgan. It's up the line, and the ball game's tied at 1. 2-out RBI single by Hardy, his 9th run batted in.
Hardy is a big, tall guy, but for his size, he can motor a little bit. Always just steals quite a few bases. But he's not easy picking by any means on a base hit. He's going to get around there and make a nice turn. Not too far out on the grass. Maybe a little further than you would like. He gets those long legs going. Oh, we had a little collision at the on-deck circle, didn't we?
Ian Snell was coming in to back up. Jason Kendall was coming out to serve as the, for all intents and purposes, the additional base coach. On-deck hitter's got a big responsibility for that runner at second base or third base. Got to tell him whether to stand up, get down, what side of the plate to slide on.
You're the coach now. You're like a home plate coach. You're doing the same thing that third base coach is doing. You know? Telling that hitter to get down, which way the throw's coming from.
Hot shot to Vasquez, short way to Sanchez, and the inning is over. But a run comes in on 2 hits, a man left through an inning and a half, all even at 1. Like he's flexing his knee a little bit, Bob.
No, he's stretching his uniform pants out.
They're not long enough, you don't think?
No, see, that's the thing nowadays. You got to get them long, and if they feel like maybe they're a little tight or something, they pull them up, get them on the knee. They're using the knee as a hook. They get those pants stretched out.
Brandon Moss will lead off the bottom of the second inning of a 1-1 game. Jeff Suppan delivers inside for a ball. Brandon Moss had a triple last night that drove in the first Pirates run. 3 runs batted in on the year. 2-0 to Moss. Suppan, the 2006 National League Championship Series most valuable player. Game 3 against the Mets in 2006 while pitching for the Cardinals. Pitched 8 scoreless innings and hit a home run in a 5-0 win. Now, he only pitched the 1 game, and he got series MVP. Cardinals would go on to win.
He's what they call an innings eater. He's not really going to lead your rotation, but he'll go out there and take the ball every 5th day. Very durable. He'll throw you the 6 or 7 innings year after year after year. That's what he has done. And in his short time here in Pittsburgh, he wasn't here a full year. He ended up getting traded, but he actually was, I think, looking back, our best pitcher at that time.
Well, in 03, he had 21 appearances, went 10-7 with an ERA of about 3.5.
He did, I would say, lead our staff while he was a Pirate.
Andy LaRoche clanged one off the left field foul pole for a home run last night. Took him 73 at bats. He finally got one. He's trying to close the number of at bats. Hit some home runs a little more frequently. Suppan's pitch. That's outside. Go back to last night and listen closely. You'll hear it. Suppose you didn't have to listen that closely. It's pretty obvious.
No, I heard that. Pretty loud.
1 ball, 1 strike to LaRoche. Last 17 games, 7 doubles and 11 runs batted in.
I think the home runs will come just like the batting average eventually did. It took a long time, all of the end of last year, and then about the first couple weeks of this season before he really, just had a couple fall for him and got on a little bit of a roll, and has been very steady with the base hits. And now I think he's got that first home run. He's going to start hitting them a little more frequently.
1-2 pitch. That's a chopper down to short. Hardy's going to go to Weeks, and that's all they're going to get.
And the question, I think, with Andy is just exactly how many is he capable of. But I think it's safe to say that a good number for him without going out on a limb would be like something around 20 a year.
At 4 last year, still a very young player. This year was his first year on an opening day roster. Now Ramon Vasquez. 1 for 3 last night. Vasquez, the number 7 hitter in the order. 1 out and 1 on for the Pirates. Suppan will throw over him. LaRoche is back. Yeah, you mentioned Suppan getting traded in 03. That was on the 31st of July. It was a deal to Boston where Suppan went to the Red Sox. And a pretty important piece of the Pirates puzzle ended up coming back in that deal. At the time, the Pirates really didn't know what it would mean. They had an idea, but Freddie Sanchez was in that deal. Suppan had 2 stints with Boston. Originally came up with them. Pitched a number of years in Kansas City and St. Louis before going to Milwaukee. Vasquez. 1 ball and 1 strike. Jeff Nelson calling the balls and strikes. 1993 Suppan, drafted by Boston. They got him back in 03 because they were making that run. He helped them down the stretch run. They ended up losing in the American League Championship Series to New York. There's a foul ball away. There's Jeff Nelson calling the balls and strikes. Mark Carlson down at first. Crew chief Tim Tsuchida is at second base, and Bob Davidson, who was behind the plate last night, is at third. Ball and 2 strikes to Ramon Vasquez. Kendall setting up inside. And strike 3 is called. Vasquez doesn't like it.
He didn't like it at all. What Nelson would tell him is the ball had a tail on it and came back to the plate. But they probably really don't want to talk about it that extensively, to be honest with you. And from that view, I mean, we have an off-center shot here, as most ballparks do. You're not looking exactly dead over the pitcher's head, so it could be a little deceiving at times. But from that view, it looked like it stayed inside a little.
Pretty much the same pitch right there, called a strike on Jaramillo. Sometimes when you get rung up, you got to remember that's one part of the game for Vasquez. He can't take his bat out of the field with him. He was a little bit upset last night too, with home plate umpire Bob Davidson. Matt Capps expressed some displeasure over Davidson on the 2-2 pitch to Ricky Weeks. Thought he had him on the inside. It looked good. The general consensus from people observing the game was that Capps may have been squeezed. And there's a pitch that fouled off. But either way, what's a strike? What's the definition of a strike? Is if the umpire calls it a strike, right? Doesn't matter where it actually is. It's not called a strike. It's not a strike. Sometimes that's hard for hitters to accept. Pitchers don't mind it when they get the strike. 0-2 to Jaramillo. 2 down, LaRoche at first.
A lot of times too, if you start complaining about stuff, I don't know how it is now. I think it's a little less likely to happen, but you go back 20-30 years ago when you had the American League umpires, National League umpires, and it was a little bit like the Supreme Court. They were there forever. If they wanted to start squeezing you a little bit because you were whining, or they thought you were whining, they'd do it. If they didn't like a hitter looking back and complaining about every pitch, fine, have that catcher move out there a little more next time. That was all part of the game, but I don't think that goes on as much as it did back then.
2-2 right over the mound. And Hardy will take care of Jaramillo, and that's the inning. A man left, and through 2 innings of play, it's a 1-1 ball game.
Barrel Automotive. Barrel.com. Definitely worth the click. And by Aflac. Aflac, we've got you under our wing.
Well, they're dressed appropriately. One has a skin tone T-shirt that says B, another one U, another one that says C, and another one that says S. Bucks. What if their parents know they are dressed that way tonight?
No, they didn't leave the house like that, probably.
Yeah, it's 55 degrees out there right now. Maybe some more sensible folks who are wearing jackets.
They'll be out there at the Steeler game in December the same way, believe me. The temperature has no bearing on shirt or no shirt.
Pillbox hat. That's going to be one of the giveaways coming up here. First pitch right down to Andy LaRoche. And Suppan, one pitch, one down. Andy's done a nice job down there at third base defensively. He's got 3 errors on the season, but those all came early. Had a little chat with John Russell. Russell told him that, you know, you're my guy, and we've got confidence in you. And since then, he's made every play down there.
First week, couldn't hit or catch.
Figured it out.
Yes, he did.
Ricky Weeks 0 for 1. Flat out to center field in the first. Ian Snell. The next pitch is to right field. There's Moss circling around it. 2 pitches and 2 outs. It's just how you like it.
Not too shabby. Again, Snell not throwing real hard, though, I don't believe. I think that was a fastball. I think. But just the high 80s.
Well, Snell leads off in the bottom of the 3rd inning. He probably wants to hurry up and get a bat in his hand.
He's got a good start at that. I think he needs to fire this one right down the middle and just dare Counsell to hit it. Right down the middle. Oh, nice target right there. That one just 86. Wow.
Last Wednesday he was up in the middle 90s.
Yeah.
And it took him a little bit of time to get there because it was about the 6th or 7th inning when he was being clocked at 95. Seems like he gets looser as the game goes on. The 1-1 to Counsell. There's a strike. It's the 5th pitch of the inning for Ian Snell.
But I've only seen one time, looking up at the radar box up there after each pitch. I've only seen one 90-mile-an-hour pitch tonight.
Broken bat roller to second. Sanchez takes care of that. A 6-pitch inning for Ian Snell, and he'll grab a bat and go to the plate when we return. Looks good, looks good. You can take part in that as well. The AM PM all-you-can-eat seats are backed by popular demand. Just $35. 5 more on the day of the game. You get an outfield reserve ticket and all-you-can-eat hot dogs, hamburgers, nachos, popcorn, peanuts, ice cream, soda, and if you're inclined, even a salad. Go back for more food and drinks as many times as you like. Visit pirates.com/all-you-can-eat for more details.
They give you one of those things on your wrist there. Show that you're an all-you-can-eat guy.
He's just starting. He's got the nachos.
You know, on all those shots, I don't think I saw any salads.
Well, it's because they already ate him.
Oh.
They ate him in the first inning. Yes. Cinco de Mayo tonight. 5th of May. The right attire. The Pirates have not had a lot of Cinco de Mayo games at home. Didn't play last year on May 5th. But they have won each of the last 4 games played in Pittsburgh on the 5th of May. Snell to Ricky Weeks, who's been busy. And there's one down. 96, 98, 99, and 2001, and now in 2009. Cinco de Mayo games at home. All victories. 2009 still to be determined. Nigel Morgan with 1 out, flat out to right field. He's 0 for 1. Morgan hitting .300 against Jeff Suppan. He's 3 out of 10 career. And he bunched this one down the third base side. Looks pretty good. Suppan to throw. No chance. That's exactly what the Pirates have been trying to get Nigel Morgan to do more often. Bunt for base hits, and he's successful there with 1 out.
Well, that's the way to get him to do it more often. Well, he starts getting some hits doing that. And he'll definitely buy into the program. See that batting average keep jumping up. He knew he had a base hit. Watch him. He looks at the ball, sees where it's at. He knows he's got it.
He was 0 for his last 8, Bob, coming into that at bat. I think a little bit frustrated by it.
As soon as he saw that ball just crawl out there onto the grass, he knew he had a base hit.
Throw to first base. And he is back. Nigel Morgan caught last time attempting to steal. He's been caught 3 times. He's been successful 6 times.
Look at that. A couple of those times he was caught because he left so early. The pitcher would just turn and throw it to the shortstop.
First pitch to Sanchez, outside ball 1. Sanchez homered his first trip to the plate, 3rd homer of the season. RBI number 10. Sanchez keeps on getting those extra base hits. Now 17 extra base hits. He's moved into the National League lead in that category. 1-0. 2 balls and no strikes. Sanchez looking down at third at Tony Beasley, giving him the signs. Nigel Morgan off of first. 2 balls, no strikes. A 34-year-old veteran Jeff Suppan ready at the belt. 3-0 to Sanchez. After giving up the bomb back in the first inning, Suppan much more careful with Sanchez this time around. Nate McLouth would love to have 2 men on base when he gets up there.
Nate and Adam LaRoche, that's where all the great numbers are.
There goes Morgan. The pitch is high, ball 4. Nigel slides anyway. So first and second, 1 out. And Nate McLouth coming to the plate. On this day in Pirates history, May 5th, 1989, Bob Walk. 6 hits the Padres in a 4-2 Pirate win at San Diego. That's our this day in Pirates history. Thank you to Day Automotive. Do you remember?
I think Ray Quiones hit a home run to win that game.
1984 with the Pirates. Started there to 93. World Series ring with the Philadelphia Phillies.
Guy needs a haircut.
It's kind of short compared to how you wore it some days.
Yeah, that's true. Probably just got a cut.
And no mustache in that photo. McLouth way inside.
That's probably a little later on. Mustache disappeared the last couple of years.
Now, didn't you tell?
I was getting ready for my TV job.
Didn't you make a comment to Ryan Domit this offseason about the mullet?
Yeah, I told him they win 10 in a row that I'd see what I could do. I don't know if my hair will still grow fast enough to get it done, but they got to win 10 in a row.
Popped up. Jason Kendall giving it a look, but that's going to make the seats. So the deal with Domit is basically if the Pirates win 10 in a row,
10 in a row, I'll grow the mullet back.
You'll grow the mullet back.
But I mean, they can't do it in September. I mean, who will know if I got a mullet on Thanksgiving? They gotta get with it so I can have some time.
Well, you better put it in writing and add that stipulation, because otherwise.
Well, if they win 10 in a row in September, I'd show up to spring training maybe with one on or something like that.
There's cameras, people can take a photo of you in the offseason. There's the winter caravan. People will see you. 1-1 to McLouth. He laid off it and took a strike.
I think that's where the bet was made on the winter caravan, perhaps.
4:17 with runners in scoring position. Morgan at second, Sanchez at first. One out. Suppan looks in at Kendall. Now the 1 ball, 2 strike offering coming to Nate McLouth. 2-2. I think people want to see you with a mullet, though, Bob, because they want to see 10 in a row.
Yes.
That would be the.
Well, that'd be great to get that 10 in a row.
Now, you don't have to wear an eye patch or anything. Just the mullet.
So that's starting from ground zero there.
McLouth hits this one to center field. Going back is Cameron. Tagging is Morgan. Cameron the catch, and Morgan bluffs. The throw by Mike Cameron keeps the runners where they are at first and second. Adam LaRoche will have the chore of trying to move him over.
Well, so far, my big two not done a whole lot. They haven't got their bowl of soup.
Still lots of time. Last night Milwaukee didn't get their soup until the 8th and 9th innings. 1-1 the score. Adam LaRoche is 0 for 1. Grounded out to Ricky Weeks at second base in the first inning. One. And the first pitch is in there for a strike. 0-1.
Adam would like to see that one again.
Speaking of your mullet, I saw one of your old bobbleheads the other day. I think they sort of overdid the mullet. 0-1. And that one is outside. 1 ball and 1 strike now.
Yeah, that's pretty long.
Well, that belongs in Wisconsin at a Packer game. Barrett trying to put the hex on Suppan. 1-1 to LaRoche. That's in there for a strike. 1-2.
Might be 2 in a row he'd like to have back. Barrett's nervous, he's pacing the cage.
He's wearing a path on top of the dugout. Don't do that. Strike 3, and the Pirates strand 2 as LaRoche goes down on strikes. Suppan and the Brewers get out of it. It's 1-1. Snell coming out to work. And you take a look at the Pirates against the rest of the National League compared to how they fare against the Milwaukee Brewers. And just can't figure it out.
And the Brewers obviously have their number, and it's not one thing. It's not just the pitching. Look at the batting average. No home runs in those 3 games. Miller Park, a great place to hit long balls. We couldn't get one over the fence. Now, there's a lot of reasons, but there's nothing that's just simple to fix and say, okay, this is it.
Ryan Braun. He takes the first pitch for a ball. He talks about the streak. Said it's not something that factors into the equation for us, but it's pretty remarkable. It's not easy to do because the Pirates are a really good team. Their starting pitching is great this year. Their bullpen has been great. They're running a good team out there. And that's Ryan Braun with our Geico quote tonight.
Well, I think, when we were in Milwaukee, we were talking about this a lot, and one of the reasons I thought about what the streak happened, not just this year, but the last couple of seasons, is we have been predominantly a left-handed starting team with Gorzelani here and Mulholland and Duke, and they have had predominantly, except for Fielder, had a lot of right-hand hitting firepower. And they play in a ballpark that's you've got to hit home runs in to win. So that kind of gives them a little bit of an edge right off the bat. Now, maybe I'm just coming up with something out of the blue, but there it is. That's one of the reasons. The matchup just isn't really in our favor.
And you see those runs from the 7th inning on, 40 for Milwaukee, and a leadoff walk for Ryan Braun. Again, 40-12 in runs in innings 7 and beyond. Saw 6 last night. That 7-4 Milwaukee win. 23 home runs to 10, and the bullpen ERA is much better for the Brewers.
Really reflects that 7 innings or after the 7th inning number. That'll lose you some games. There's that big of a bullpen difference.
Prince Fielder takes a strike. But when you consider all those numbers in the streak that's going on, still one number is pretty important. The Pirates have had 43 wins against Milwaukee at PNC Park. They've beaten the Brewers more times here than any other opposing team. It's a long way foul. So they still have had their success and trying to get back on that successful track again. Fielder walked and was forced at second as part of a double play hit into by Mike Cameron, who's out on deck. Braun is lead from first. And the pitch. Still 0-2.
I'm trying to reach back a little bit and find a little more velocity on his fastball than he has so far tonight. Tried to get that one by Fielder inside. I believe it hit 90.
Again the 0-2, but this time Snell will step off the back of the rubber. Ryan Braun. Still very, very young. Got a lot of baseball ahead of him. And the 0-2 again, pop fouling out of play.
With the fastball in on the hands, then came a change up down and away. Fielder definitely in protection mode, just trying to stay alive. Was able to get a piece of both of those. Theoretically, you shouldn't be able to hit both of them.
Fielder awaits the 0-2 from Snell. And this one is hit high to shallow left. Niger Morgan races in. And he makes the catch. Time for tonight's Aflac trivia question. Which right-handed pitcher has the most wins all time at PNC Park? Which right-handed pitcher has the most wins all time at PNC Park? We'll give you that answer in the bottom of the inning.
I think I know. I'm going to take a guess. I'm going to give a hint. I could be wrong too, though.
Mike Cameron takes outside, ball one.
He's rolling in down the river. Might be right, might be wrong. I don't know. That's my guess.
That's a hint. That's a hint. There's some hanging over the buildings right now downtown.
Okay, there we go. I know who it is now for sure. Thank you. That locked me in.
And now the skies open up a little bit more.
Yep.
To see the precipitation.
Old John Cloud, I remember him. Yeah, there's a little wet stuff in the air.
1-1 to Cameron. Cut and a miss. Good looking pitch by Ian Snell to induce the swing by Cameron.
Yeah, movement really sharp. Dive. Was able to dive right under the bat. Snell, by the way, on that last fastball to fielder, he cracked it up there into the low 90s for the first time tonight.
It's just one of those things with him. As he gets stretched out in the game, the velocity goes up. Each pitcher has their own way of warming up. Some play long toss early. He comes out by himself and stretches up against the center field wall and goes into his regular routine. 1-2 pitch. 2-2. What did you used to do to warm up? Was it anything special, or did you just say, give me the ball, let me throw it?
I did all my stretching in the clubhouse, so sitting on the floor in front of the locker. And then I'd put my clothes on and
come out and take the ball, right?
Get the ball, go out and warm up. That's about it.
Now, when you were stretching in front of your locker, were you facing the TV or was your back to the TV?
We didn't have TVs in.
You mean to tell me you played before the TV was invented, or you just didn't have them in the clubhouse?
Just didn't really have them in the clubhouse. We did have a monitor that with no sound, which was good. We couldn't hear the.
I mean, now you go in the clubhouses and they've got every modern amenity possible: plasma screen, TVs, video games.
The clubhouse,
iPod docks.
When I first got here, anyway, it was basically just one room. You didn't have all the.
This one to right field and down the line. That's going to hook.
The different compartments. You had one big clubhouse where everybody was. You had a room where the showers were. You had a small trainer's room, about the size of our booth here, probably. Manager had an office. All the coaches, their lockers are right out there in the same big room with the players. They didn't have separate facilities or anything. When you had your post-game meal, you just sat with a plate in front of your locker. You didn't have a dining room like they have at most places nowadays.
Shattered bat down to third. LaRoche to Sanchez for one. That's all they're going to get. That bat exploded.
Freddie could not find the handle on that baseball. I guess it's off the end. Oh, yeah. Hard slider. Andy did a nice job. Got Freddie the ball chest high. Maybe Freddie trying to be just a little too quick with it. As he got it out of the glove, almost dropped it. Had to reload. It was too late.
So one out. And the force play still in order. The batter is Corey Hart. Pitch is a bit low.
Now, there are tours available here. I don't know if they'll actually take you through the locker room or in the clubhouse in the summertime when the teams, ball players are in town. but I know that there's other opportunities to go in there, and it's really something to see if you ever get the chance to do that.
That was very nice. Freddie Sanchez.
They even have one of those swimming pools, kind of like a treadmill, where the water is pumped through and you can swim in one place. Tremendous weight room.
Hard to right field and deep. This one's going to get down and go off the Clemente wall in fair territory. The throw to the plate is way up the line, and one run comes in, and the Brewers have taken a 2-1 lead.
Now that really was a tester for Freddie's arm. Had to make that long relay throw in from shallow right field. Looked like the ball sailed on him a little bit. Hart going the other way. The pitch, it was down. They have a definite shot to throw him out. Right here, still got time, but watch the throw kind of sail up the line.
Second triple of the year for Corey Hart. He's got a double and a run scored, a triple and a run driven in. J.J. Hardy with 2 down, trying to drive him in. Snell's pitch, it's way outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Well, he scored a double, not a triple, a double. And on the throw from Sanchez to the plate, the relay went home. He took third base. So 2 doubles on the night. 9 now on the year. And Jaramillo needs to talk to Ian Snell after that one missed badly.
This first inning, Ian's really had to work a little bit, and he has been trying to reach back, I believe. That pitch, I think we saw an 89. This has been the usually one, even in a good game, there's one inning somewhere where you're put to a test. To this point, this has been Snell's. When we were talking about the keys, I mentioned that Ian had to work real hard in his 7 innings of work. He had more than one of these type innings in Milwaukee, even though he only gave up 1 run through 7. And that was a solo home run. He still was in trouble a few times. He was a little on the wild side. I think he walked 4.
A lot of deep counts.
There's his numbers. He had 9 base runners in those 7 innings. So he worked hard that game.
Oh, full count on J.J. Hardy. No one in the big leagues has thrown more than 131 pitches in a game yet this year. But he seemed strong, and he was still getting guys out. Three balls, 2 strikes. Runner at third is Corey Hart. And the pitch. This one to left. That's going to get hard in. And it should be a double for J.J. Hardy. 3-1 Milwaukee.
Off-speed pitch. I believe it was that slider. And it just hung mid-thigh, mid-plate. Ian throws his hands up, and I think a little disgusted with his location on that pitch.
Hardy with 2 runs batted in. Joe Kerrigan already on his way back to the Pirate dugout on the third base side. As Ian Snell giving up 2 runs in this inning. Back-to-back doubles by Hart and Hardy. Walked a fielder. Fielder was erased on a fielder's choice, hit into by Mike Cameron, but Cameron remained at first base, and he ultimately would come around to score on the double by Hart. Hart would take third on the throw, and Hardy doubled in Hart. Kendall takes a strike, 1-1. How has Jason Kendall changed as a hitter, Bob, since he was in his heyday with the Pirates?
He's just not as strong as he was. Other than that, I don't think he's changed at all. He's still tough to strike out, contact type guy. Not afraid to go to 2 strikes. None of that has changed. But he doesn't have the pop in his bat that he used to have.
Vasquez backhands. They go back to second base, and the tag is made. So 2 more runs come in for the Brewers. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th. It's a 2-run lead for the visitors.
At our Southwest Field Cam, what I want to say is look at LaRoche. He's going to break this way. No reason in the world for Hardy not to run to third base. 2 outs. Never hesitate. Watch what happens. There's the ground ball. LaRoche breaks in the hole. No way they'd have ever got him at third base, but he hesitates and he's lost. And he's out. That was our Southwest Field Cam.
So he who hesitates is out?
Yep.
Got the proverb?
And it was that time.
Jeff Suppan has a little gardening done for him. Grounds crew doing a fine job here, keeping his field in terrific shape. Jeff Suppan late warming up. Savard on SportsBeat's Kids Night has a new date. Thursday, June 18th. Stan needs your help with the show, too. We're looking for 2 boys and 2 girls aged 10 to 17 to be his co-hosts. To enter our random drawing, visit FSNinsider.com today. We've extended the entry period until June 10th. So again, it's FSNinsider.com. And 2 lucky girls and 2 lucky boys will get to co-host with Stan.
There they are.
See, Bob, maybe you should have told Ryan Doumit you'd get that haircut if they won 10 in a row.
That's 18 in a row there.
18 in a row,
18
you'll get
in
that?
a row, yeah.
Brandon Moss will lead off the bottom of the 4th inning. Pirates trailing by 2 runs, 3-1. It'll be Moss, then Andy LaRoche, and Ramon Vasquez. Walked his first time up, then was forced at second. LaRoche hit the ball down to shortstop. Double plays have been hard to turn. Pirates got one, but there have been 2 other double play balls in the game. One for the Pirates, one for the Brewers, and I'm not sure if it's just the fact that the ball is wet or bad grip on it or what reason, but double plays hard to come by tonight. Strike to Brandon Moss. Oh, 1 from Suppan. That's inside.
Got to respond now. Gave up a couple of runs. Let Suppan have an easy inning.
One's inside. You know, one of the things that Suppan is, and of course his name is Soup, he is a restaurateur. He has a restaurant called Soup's Grill in the Los Angeles area, Woodland Hills. And you'd figure he'd have soup, right?
Well, it's hard to grill soup.
No, but he's got.
It falls through the little thing.
Yeah. Well,
puts the fire out.
You would. Apparently, you've tried it. But there's some other guys in that no shirt club. But no, he serves like cheesesteaks and different things like that. It's supposed to be pretty good. And this one ripped down the right field line, just foul.
Moss loves this weather.
Now, what if you put aluminum foil on the grill? Will the soup go through that?
No, that'll work.
That would work.
That's a good idea.
You can try that when we get back from the road trip.
You should be on that Food Channel.
Let me know how it works out.
Ever watch Food Channel?
In all my spare time? Yeah, sure. 3-2 pitch. And this one is rolled toward the side of the mound. Tough play for Suppan, and he gets Moss. No, he doesn't. He's safe. Looked like he got him by a step, but Brandon Moss beat it out for a base hit.
I think Maka saw it the way you did.
Ken Maka comes out to have a chat with Mark Carlson. Let's get a look.
Even though I got the safe call, it was a nice play by Suppan just to make it close.
Watch the left foot of Moss. Did he get it on there in time? I guess it's like what we were talking about earlier, Bob, with his strikes and balls.
That's what the umpire says.
What the umpire says, that's the call.
And you can argue and argue and argue, and unless you catch them on some rule technicality that never happens, they're not going to change their minds. I guess every now and then there'll be one of those that somebody reach over a fence or not, and they'll all get together and talk it over, and they'll change a play. But
2-0 to LaRoche. How many of those little infield dribblers did you beat up?
all of them.
All of them? Oh, one?
You're talking to a man with a couple of triples in his resume.
Really? The outfielder fall down?
Yeah, one of them.
Yeah. 2-1 to Andy. 18 straight games he has reached base safely. Moss the lead from first, and Suppan's 2-1. Let's look at this and slow it down a little bit at first base.
Okay, there's the ball. Oh, man. That's a tough play. Is he touching the base? Boy, that was real close.
Bang, bang.
Depends on how long his cleats are. If they're new or not.
3-1 is in there. Strike two call. 3-2. Nobody out. I mean, we don't know. We can't tell if just the tip of his spike touched the bag, and I don't think anybody else could either. But close play, and the Pirates benefited. Full count to LaRoche. Moss takes off, and that is low ball 4. First and second, and nobody out for Ramon Vasquez. Well, last inning we asked you the Aflac trivia question. Which right-handed pitcher has the most wins all time at PNC Park? And the hint was somewhere up there in the top of the building.
Aflac!
It was the guy known as the Dragon Slayer, Josh Fogg. 20 wins. Ian Snell with 19, one behind him.
Pitch style-wise, I like the man on the mound right now.
Suppan looks in at Vasquez. He struck out looking on an inside pitch he didn't like. Now he swings and he drives this one high down the right field line. Playable for Hart. He'll make the catch in foul ground. Both runners tag and both move up.
Excellent.
Good base running. So for Vasquez, the equivalent of a sacrifice bunt. Corey Hart knew right where the wall was.
Yeah, after he caught it, didn't it look like he acted like a little surprised that LaRoche was tagging up?
I think that's a good job by first base coach Perry Hill, telling him to get back there, realizing that ball's deep enough down the line where they can take a chance. Andy runs okay.
Well, anything that's in foul territory, it's kind of one of those cardinal rules. You tag up on any foul ball. And Hart, reaching over the railing, had to know he was in foul territory. So then he had to know that everybody was tagging up. But he did look surprised when he turned around and saw that he had to make a throw to second.
Jason Jaramillo takes ball one. Ian Snell with 19 wins. Kip Wells 18. Solomon Torres with 15. Chris Benson with 10.
I gave Kip a thought when we were doing that. Then I remember Josh.
2009 Pirates baseball on FSN Pittsburgh is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines has low fares with no hidden fees. Book now on Southwest.com, where what you see is what you pay. 1-0 to Jaramillo. Tying run in scoring position. That's Andy LaRoche with a good lead at second base. The pitch from Suppan is inside for a ball. 2-0. Big at bat for Jaramillo, with the pitcher on deck and one out. One of those clutch situations where you hope to come through. 2-0. 2 balls, 1 strike.
They got a good pitch to hit there and swung right through it on a 2-0 count. But, I don't know if he'll get a better fastball to hit than that one.
And right now, anything out of the infield would do. Fly ball somewhere, even to get 1 run in and maybe move another runner up. Just to make some contact. Grounded out to J.J. Hardy last time up. Weren't you wearing that same bag in Cincinnati when we were there?
You know, mine was a different color.
Oh, yeah, yours was like that deep forest green color.
Went with my jacket.
3-1.
I was working with Brownie that night. He was laughing at me when I first put it on.
But you used it as a windbreaker.
Well, then an inning later, he was back there trying to find one to put on.
But he put a sport coat on over it. Looked pretty good.
No, he's a style monster.
3-1 to Jaramillo. 3-2.
Change up.
You got Jaramillo out front.
This is the type of pitcher that Suppan is. It's 3-1. He's got the pitcher on deck. Didn't want to just lay one in there. So he pulled the string. Hoped that Jaramillo would be hunting fastball. Looks like he was.
Runners lead from second and third. Payoff pitch. This one is lifted foul and out of play. For any young player, especially a catcher, Jaramillo in a good situation for himself. He said it's kind of bittersweet because Dolman had to get injured for him to get all this playing time, but somebody's got to play. He figures it may as well be him, and he's got to take advantage of the at-bats. Disappointed last year. Here's with the Phillies. Disappointed that they didn't put him on the postseason roster. Call him up. September. 3-2. This one is into center field. A base hit. Moss scores. LaRoche will hold. He had to hang up anyway. He wasn't sure if Weeks was going to pull it down. The line drive was a low liner. And it's now 3-2 as Jaramillo drives in a run.
Just dropped the bat right on that. Looked like a curveball. First 3-2 hook. Kind of thought that after he had that success with that changeup, came back again with a fastball fouled off. I thought he would go back to the changeup, since that his changeup is kind of moving away from Jaramillo a little bit, where the curveball's kind of coming into him. But Suppan is very, very successful. That's what he's doing. Jaramillo just beat him. See if we can get Jaramillo moved over to second base now for Niger.
Corners come in. This one right back to the pitcher Suppan. He's got one play. Weeks is covering. 1-4 goes the put out, and now 2 men in scoring position. The tying run 90 feet away. That's Andy LaRoche. And Jaramillo over to second base. Ian Snell gets the job done.
Yeah, Snell has become a very good bunter. It's one of the weaker parts of his game. When he first came up, he pretty much couldn't do a lot positive with the bat, but he's cut down on his strikeouts now. He puts the ball in play most of the time, and if I need somebody to sacrifice somebody over, he might be the guy I go with, and he's gotten that good.
Strike one to Niger Morgan. Bunt base hit his last time up. Flat out to right field in the first inning. 1-for-2. Third baseman Craig Counsell, see where he's playing. He's in on the cutout at third with 2 outs and runners at second and third. Suppan's pitch, and Morgan fouls it away. He's in the hole, 0-2. Niger Morgan with 11 runs batted in. 0-2 to the right side, and Weeks is going to throw out Morgan, and the Pirates strand 2, but Jason Jaramillo brings them a run closer with an RBI single to center field, scoring Brandon Moss. Bucks trail by a run. The Hall of Fame Club at PNC Park, PNC Park's newest venue. Remember, the Hall of Fame Club is open to all fans. You don't need a special ticket to get in. Offers a full menu as well as selected drink specials, too, at the full-service bar. For more information, visit Pirates.com or just stop by on game day. It's the Trip Total Media Hall of Fame Club here at PNC Park. What a great spot. Again, all you need is a ticket to the game to get in. That's it. No matter where it is, it's open to all fans.
See some fans heading up the stairs. Trying to maybe get out of the mist right now, heading for the Hall of Fame Club. Probably a popular place tonight.
I think so.
With the weather.
Jeff Suppan leading off against Ian Snell to start the top of the fifth.
Be back underneath cover, inside. Enjoy all the amenities. Watch the ball game.
1-0. And Suppan takes on 2 balls and no strikes. I mentioned in 2006 when he earned the MVP honors in the National League Championship Series while with the Cardinals, he hit a home run in Game 3. It was a 5-0 shutout win over the Mets. And Suppan can handle the bat a little bit.
Fastball 85, a couple others 87. I don't think that Snell has a fastball tonight. I really don't. I know that maybe he's trying to guide one every now and then. There's another 87. But this is not the way he normally throws the ball. Even on days he doesn't have his good stuff. I think he's usually throwing it a little harder. I don't know if he's trying a little something different, or was it that last start maybe took a little out of him?
Strike 3 called. Snell gets Suppan.
Suppan figured he had a better chance of getting on base by taking that last pitch and rolling the dice. It'd be called a ball than swing and put it in play.
Ricky Weeks will be the hitter. Let's take a look at our Fox box and our Firestone stat tonight. RBI leaders against right-handed pitchers. No secret that Albert Pujols is at the top of that list. Ricky Weeks number 2. Pirates will see Albert Pujols the next 2 days in St. Louis, and then Pujols and the Cardinals will be here starting on the 12th of May, Tuesday night, week from tonight. Albert Pujols, incidentally, named National League Player of the Month for April. Cardinals rookie Brian Barton was the Rookie of the Month. They just flat out had a good month. The pitch to Weeks. See who's who this week, and the players for April have been announced. Johan Santana, pitcher of the month. He had a pretty good one. How about Evan Longoria? 8 home runs already. Zach Greinke has been unhittable.
0.50 ERA. And that was April. I think he's actually turned it up a notch now that he's got it into May.
He did it again last night for the Royals. 2-2 to Weeks. 1 down, top of the 5th.
ERA now 0.40. I quickly figured that out in my head.
It's amazing. Is that what you do on your off days when you're a starting pitcher? You just work on mathematics and figuring out things? It just becomes natural after a while, I would imagine.
No, it's what you do if your name's John Wayner.
Snuck in behind you. He's grounded at first. Backing up LaRoche. He'll gun it to Snell for the out. So 2 men are out. Time to check out tonight's Beaver County Automotive Farm Report. Some news from the minor leagues. Pine Richland High School's own Neil Walker last night against Scranton Wilkes-Barre. 3 for 5. A couple of runs batted in. Scored a run. And so far 3 home runs. 14 runs batted in. 23 games. So the local boy starting to pick it up a little bit at AAA. Greg Counsell with 2 outs. Counsell's 0 for 2. A pair of ground outs to Freddie Sanchez. Takes a strike. They're talking about John Wayner in math. I think some people know this, some may not, but he was a math major at the University of Indiana.
That's why he does all my math for me.
He's playing,
he figures out all of our checks.
Playing baseball for the Hoosiers. He would do math in his off time. Well, Counsell in their third base tonight. Pirates have seen 3 different third basemen start against them for Milwaukee. Bill Hall, Casey McGee last night. When Ryan Braun was out of the lineup, Bill Hall went out to left field and McGee started at third. Now Counsell starts tonight because Hall is out of the lineup. McGee, the right-handed hitter, is out of the lineup, so the left-hander Counsell is in. And Ryan Braun starting again in left field. So that's how the left side shaped up for Ken Macha tonight. 3-1 pitch. Ball 4. 2-out walk is issued to Craig Counsell.
He's playing with fire. Get way ahead. Counsell up there. You got one of the best home run hitters in the league on the on deck circle. If you do not want to lose him to a base on balls.
He draws a bit of a reaction when he comes to the plate now in Pittsburgh. He's got one fan anyway.
He's a heck of a hitter. He's not a bad left fielder. He was or a third baseman. They didn't take much time in moving him out of the infield.
The problem was he had too many go through his legs down there. So they figured they'd put him out where those balls ended up anyway. He's been okay in left. Fouls this one away. Craig Counsell, former Arizona Diamondback, has been around a little bit.
He's got a couple rings in. Got one with the Marlins.
He's got some hardware. He does. One of those players that's been in the right place at the right time a couple of times. 0-2 to Braun. Snell deals. And again, it's fouled away. Counsell's been with the Rockies, Florida, the Dodgers, Arizona, Milwaukee, Arizona again, and Milwaukee.
He's focused. Boy, he was just, eyes were just pouring in on Snell. Snell came over.
Carlson, the umpire, keeping a close eye. Now the pitch outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, for Counsell, I think it's important to be back in Wisconsin. He was born in South Bend, Indiana, but lives in Whitefish Bay, Wisconsin. A chance to come home as he gets toward the end of his career.
He's been a starter most of his career, and now he's a pretty valuable backup infielder, left-hand hitter. Great reputation for doing the right thing, knowing how the game's played.
And Braun strikes out. Second strikeout for Ian Snell, as this ball darted down and away from him. And down on strikes goes Braun. youngsters looking for some runs from the Pirates. Freddie Sanchez, Nate McLouth, and Adam LaRoche to face Jeff Suppan. Strike is called to Sanchez. Sanchez homered and walked tonight. Homered into the left field home run porch. His third home run of the season. One ball and one strike. With Bob Walk, Tim Everett here at PNC Park. Glad you're along tonight. Kind of a misty night. A bit moist out here at the park, but not really anything heavy. 2 balls and 1 strike.
You know, after they scored those 2 runs, I kind of wanted us to respond. We did. I don't know if do you feel like there's been a little bit of a momentum change in this ball game, even though we're down by a run. I feel like things are going our way a little bit now.
Up in the air to left for Braun. 1 down.
Suppan had to kind of have one of those work hard type innings.
Yeah, he did have to work hard in the 4th. Andrew Morgan made it tough on him in the 3rd with a bunt single, and Freddie walked. The Pirates starting to put some pressure on him, getting some base runners, but starting the inning off with an out. Nate McLouth is 0 for 2 and 3 hits last night. It's his second 3-hit game on the homestand. One of those against the Reds was a bunt base hit to make it his 3rd hit of the ball game. We talk about speed coming back into the game, Bob, as opposed to having huge guys in the outfield that are out there primarily just because they can hit. Corner infielders being boppers, and speed coming back. And Nate McLouth is a number 3 hitter, bunting his way aboard for a base hit. He's also 3 for 3 in stealing attempts this year.
Well, that's Nate's game. I mean, he's not a prototypical number 3 type guy. He's a bunt and steal type hitter with surprising pop in his bat.
Down to fielder, toss to Suppan covering.
Kind of like, I guess, I'm trying to think of somebody that would kind of compare him to. How about like a Barry Larkin type player? Barry Larkin, like in his prime, where he was hitting some home runs. You really wouldn't think of him as a power hitter, but I mean, he could hurt you with the long ball. But a lot of speed, steal bases. He could run his way on. And I guess you can go back a little further on to another Red team, and not that I'm going to compare Nate to a Hall of Famer, but Joe Morgan, kind of that type of mold. It would beat you a lot of different ways, and one of those was hit the ball over the fence for a guy that wasn't very big. Nate's got about another dozen years of doing it before that's really a legitimate comparison. But that's kind of the type of player that I hope Nate's going to be for his career.
Well, if he can maintain what he did a year ago, Gold Glove All-Star type season.
What more could you ask from him? Defense, offense. I was asking a lot from him tonight, though.
Yeah, you were.
Adam and Nate both. I mean, between the two of them, and about 35 at bats, they're hitting over 400 with 4 home runs. And I thought that was going to be our main point of attack tonight, but so far not a lot from those two.
They're only halfway home. Still a lot of game left. And LaRoche up in the air to left. Ryan Braun takes care of it. A clean inning for Jeff Suppan and the Brewers. 1-2-3 go the Pirates. We will head to inning number 6. Well, this is a pretty good one here. The track's a little muddy tonight like it was at Churchill Downs the other day, Bob, but looks like Oliver is going to flip those goggles off his head. They're a little bit muddy. He's falling behind.
I thought there was going to be a lot of slipping and sliding, but the footing, I guess, was better than we thought it was going to be. And there's the finish. Hannah really a late charge, but Cheese held her off.
Yeah, he got her on the lean at the end.
Yep.
Cheese was a little runny tonight.
Yeah, you know, it's a team from Wisconsin in town. You know, the Cheese is feeling his oats.
Prince Fielder 0 for 1.
Cheese's cousin watching. That's one of his left tickets for that guy. Cheese didn't.
You ever have the cheese curds when you're up in Wisconsin?
Is that like cottage cheese?
Now look, I know you like things like buffalo wings and such.
Well, I love cottage cheese too. I mean,
it's not cottage cheese. No.
What are cheese curds?
Completely different.
What is it?
Next time we go,
it's really cheese.
No. Next time we go, we'll get some.
All right,
you'll like it.
I'm game.
We'll take some home. Fielder fouls this one away.
I think I watched some show on how to make cheese one time. I think they were showing some cheese curds. That's probably not what you're talking about.
No. You have a lot of time on your hands.
Yes.
And that's the second time you've talked about watching food shows on TV.
I'm a color guy, not a play-by-play man.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Prince Fielder.
I don't sit in front of my scorebook for 4 hours a day. Write stuff down. You and Greg got it tough.
2-2. Pretty good looking pitch, just a little bit low, and the count now is full.
A little sink to it.
Fielder laid off it. Mike Cameron is on deck. Ian Snell trying to keep things the way they are. Let the Pirate bats go in the bottom of the inning.
Well, part of feeling, I think, better about the game, thinking we've got a little momentum on our side, is after Snell gave up those 2 runs, a nice easy inning the next inning. And the way your starter is pitching for you, I think, really sets the tone in that dugout for how all the players feel the game's going.
And Fielder gets a free pass to lead off the inning. Take a look at our Barrel Automotive stat. Most home runs this season as a team. Milwaukee right behind Philadelphia. And Cameron with 6. He leads.
All of those
led last night until Weeks got his 6th.
All of those real good home run hitting ballparks except for St. Louis, which is kind of like our ballpark in the middle of the road. Has its advantages and disadvantages for the long ball hitter.
Chavez loosening up now. Yeah, we look at, you got Weeks with 6, you got Cameron with 6, Braun with 5, Prince Fielder with 4, Hart with 3, and J.J. Hardy with 3. Those are just the guys in the lineup tonight. Bill Hall, who was out nursing that hamstring, he's got 3 as well. Two 2-0, 3-0, and now Ian Snell is getting himself into trouble here.
The Brewer team they put together is kind of like the old American League Brewer teams.
Yeah, they just see it and hit it. Yep. There's not a lot of advancing. You know,
the Gorman Thomas days.
And 2 4-pitch walks. I beg your pardon, Fielders wasn't, but 2 walks to start the inning, and that's going to do it for Ian Snell. He's all done. John Russell is coming to get him. Jesse Chavez will be the new pitcher for the Pirates. Ian Snell leaves here in the 6th inning without retiring a hitter and walking the first 2 he saw. 94 pitches for Ian Snell. Certainly not the way he wanted to leave here. Our Columbia Gas 811 call to the pen has been made. We'll tell you about the new pitcher when we come back. But between innings, showing his displeasure with how things went tonight.
How quickly that momentum can change. That's where I really felt good as this inning started. Thought we had things going our way, and 10 pitches later, Snell's in the dugout throwing things around. So obviously, the situation has changed. Jesse Chavez in the game.
So Chavez will have the job of trying to get a force out somewhere. 3-2, one-run game, and Chavez making his 11th appearance. Chavez pitched a scoreless 9th inning Sunday afternoon and suffered his only loss on the last road trip in Milwaukee. Charged with a blown save and took the loss in that game.
That's got to really bug umpires. Yeah. You have your meeting on the mound, then you go back and you throw your warm-up pitches, and then you have another meeting on the mound. So I'm sensitive that I was always trying to please the umpires. I wanted them to be happy with me when it came to making those calls.
Chavez, who can hit the radar gun up there a little bit in the mid-90s. Starts at 92 miles an hour to Corey Hart. Hart's seen the ball very well tonight. 2 doubles, a run batted in. He scored 2 of the 3 Milwaukee runs. Two balls and no strikes. Last 7 games for the Pirates bullpen, not how it started, not how it was in spring training, and not how it was at the beginning of the season.
There's 17 walks in 17 innings. That something that we talked about all of the month of March, about the big difference has to be less walks this year.
And Chavez, 3 balls, no strikes. He hasn't been near the plate with Corey Hart. Matt Capps got some news today. Last night after the game, felt discomfort in his elbow. They had him tested today, and they're going to shut him down for a few days. Strike is called. Capps will be available as soon as Friday in New York, and that's the soonest he'd be available. He's had a tough couple of outings, his last 2, after putting together 5 perfect save opportunities. It was 5 for his first 5, and then last night got charged with a blown save. John Grable also got hit with one.
Yeah, I don't want to make excuses for Matt, but I think that everything is going to be just fine with him. The velocity, even though he felt the discomfort, I thought he was throwing velocity-wise about like he always does in the low 90s. Maybe his control wasn't as good the last couple of days as it normally is, the way we like to see it.
Right back toward the middle. Sanchez stops it, steps on second. He doesn't make it. Close play at first base. Sanchez did a good job saving a run there.
Came very close to turning that into 2 outs. Boy, how did that get through Sanchez? His legs almost together and the ball went right between them.
Now Sanchez had to take that extra step, and that's what cost him a double play.
If he could have released the ball as his foot was touching the base, he had the double play. But he touched the base, took a step, then threw the ball.
J.J. Hardy, a couple of hits, single and a double. That one is outside and low.
Watch it again. Now picture him releasing the ball as he steps on the base. See, he stepped on the base and then stepped toward third and then threw the ball. And Mark beat it by a step. Chavez stepping. A lot of stepping going on.
Try to step it up. This is where he needs a ground ball. To the infield. Runner goes, and the throw does not go down. They're going to let him take second base. Corey Hart will take second. That's his third stolen base of the season, and that takes the forced playoff.
Pirates lose the double play opportunity now.
So now the infield will be drawn in. Pirates trying to cut down the run. That's the #1 priority. Hardy hits this one in the air down the right field line. That will go into the seats. Two and one to J.J. Hardy. People might wonder what JJ stands for. And that's through. And at least one run will come in. That'll get 2 runs in as Hart circles and scores. And it is now 5-2. And the book closed on Snell.
There's the danger of playing the infield in. The runner at second base, if a ground ball sneaks through a drawn in infield, it ends up costing you 2 runs instead of just 1. That's a play that Freddie is going to be able to make if he's not worried about cutting any runs off at the plate. If he's back on the outfield grass, they trade an out for a run. So you have to look at the scoreboard and say, well, I'm down by a run. Do I want to be down by 2? Am I willing to do that? These are all the things that are going through a manager's head as he's making these decisions. He's thinking about the bullpen and how they're scoring runs.
Not that it matters a lot, but I did ask the question, what does JJ stand for? JJ
oh, I'm
Hardy.
sorry. Junior Johnson.
No. Want to try again? You won't get it.
Well, no.
Kendall. That's into left field. A base hit.
Jeremiah Johnson.
James Jerry.
I might have got to that eventually.
Eventually. You would have run out of J names. Might have been sometime tonight. By the time the charter lands in St. Louis, you might have got it.
See, that would have been something we could have killed time with on the plane. Now we don't have that.
Oh, there'll be something else, I'm sure. 5-2, 3-run lead. Ian Snell right now on the hook. And he is going to be relying on the Pirates hitters to get him off that hook. Jeff Suppan.
He'll be trying to bunt this one toward Andy. That's what he's supposed to try and do.
from the pitcher's standpoint, you know it's a sacrifice. What's the school of thought? Just throw it right down there, or throw it in a location that will give him an opportunity to pop it up.
For me, I'm just throwing it right down there. If I get 2 strikes, then I might try it for a strikeout. If it gets back to a 2-2 count, now I'm just trying to get it. I just want an out. If they're trying to give me an out, I want that out. I mean, how many times does an inning really fall apart when somebody's trying to give you an out and you don't take it? Look back to last night. Corey Hart wanted to give us an out. We didn't take it. We walked him. And ended up giving up a home run.
I suppose that's the conversation right now, saying, hey, look, they're giving us an out.
So this is something that the pitching, and I mentioned this, I think, with Stan in our pregame today, but the pitching, there's not a whole lot to complain about this year. It's been overall pretty good, but one of the things that we've had trouble with is in this exact scenario is when somebody's squaring around trying to give us an out, we're not throwing enough strikes. And here it is again, 2-0 count. Suppan squaring around trying to give us an out.
Suppan stand in there, and he may as well take a pitch.
I would imagine he's got the take. He's taken all the way. Probably a lot of fans wonder about that 3-0 right down the middle fastball for a strike. And I've even thrown them and wondered the same thing. Why couldn't you do that before it got to 3-0?
And there is ball 4, and the bases are loaded. So Chavez walks. Jeff Suppan, Kendall, and Hardy also on base, and the bases are loaded. Every Sunday Pirates home game is a Giant Eagle Advantage Card Day. The Bucks offer you 2 ways to save. Show your Advantage card at the PNC Park ticket window on the day of the game, and you'll save $5 off select reserved seats for your family. Or visit the ticket office in advance to double that savings to $10 off. Call 1-800-BUY-BUCKS for more information. Next Sunday game is May 17th against the Colorado Rockies. So now Ricky Weeks to the plate. 1 out, bases loaded. Chavez deals low and outside. He's either been way inside or way outside, and the only one he's had that's been over the plate right down the middle has been that 3-0 pitch to Jeff Suppan. Two balls and no strikes. See the signs by Jaramillo on the chest protector.
Looks like we're going to see Sean Burnett here shortly. I don't think Jesse is going to be able to find the plate tonight. That's one of the problems with these young pitchers, is occasionally we've seen this in spring training and once or twice with a couple of them during the season now, where they just cannot throw a strike.
And John Russell had already made the call before ball 4 was thrown. And that is going to do it for Jesse Chavez. Another run comes in. It's 6-2. Columbia Gas 811 call to the pen has been made. We'll tell you about Sean Burnett when we come back.
Automotive. We're going to make your day. And by Levin Furniture, home of the luxury Stearns & Foster mattress.
Pirates trying to bridge the gap here, so they go to the bullpen and bring in left-hander Sean Burnett to take the place of Jesse Chavez. Only won a third of an inning, and Chavez already on the hook for 2 runs. Jeff Suppan, he walked him and then walked Ricky Weeks with the bases loaded and pushed the 6th run of the game across for the Brewers.
Did not want to have to use Sean Burnett so quickly here. Chavez just getting an out, as you already are playing shorthanded in the bullpen with Caps on the shelf.
So Sean Burnett will have the job of trying to get out Craig Counsell in a forced play in the infield. You take whatever you can get here. And Burnett, the pitch popped up, foul ground, playable for LaRoche, and he makes the out, key out. So Burnett comes in with 1 pitch, gets the 2nd out.
That was nice being able to do it with just 1 pitch. Counsell upset with himself.
He knew right away.
He was looking breaking ball, I'm sure. That's why he swung at that first pitch curveball. And he got it. It was hanging belt high, middle of the plate, and he just missed it.
9th man to come to the plate this inning, Ryan Braun. Braun struck out, flied out, and walked. 0 for 2. Burnett outside.
And you see a hitter, I mean, they pop up that first pitch breaking ball, and especially if they got a little disgusted look on their face, you know that they got what they were looking for, and they're mad at themselves for hitting it straight up.
Braun has faced Burnett twice in his career. He's 0 for 2, and he lifts this one a long way down the right field line, and that ball is going to hit foul.
Well, Moss is not sure. He's digging after it. I was watching Moss. I got a little concerned. I didn't see the umpire right away. The way he was running had me worried.
Should be a real good look right here.
Oh yeah, definitely foul territory. But then look at Moss. He starts flying after it. I saw that and was like, oh no.
So just a long strike. Bases loaded, 2 outs, 1-1 on Ryan Braun.
You know, back to that play there by Moss run after that. Even if Moss sees that, as the umpire did, hit about 3 or 4 inches foul, I mean, it is a good idea to chug after it, because you never know what the call is going to be. You can never assume anything. I'm glad he did hustle after the ball until he saw the umpire giving the foul sign.
2-1 is inside at low, 3 balls and a strike. From Moss's angle, he doesn't know if it's fair or foul at that point. It's so close to the line, so he just has to play it as though it is live. Sean Burnett needs a pitch here. 3 balls, 1 strike. Base is full. 1 run has already been walked in this inning. That was by Jesse Chavez. And Braun puts this one a long way foul. That'll fill up the count. Runners will be on the move. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Outfield moves over a few steps, expecting a 2-strike swing. Perhaps Braun to go the other way. And the pitch. This one is down to Freddie Sanchez. He gloves it and ends the inning. 9 men to the plate, 3-run score. We're ahead of the bottom of the 6th, a 4-run deficit. Time for our Coors Light Freeze Cam tonight. Freddie Sanchez gives it to us on his first inning home run right here. Boom.
It's centered up nicely.
Coors Light Freeze Cam brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Along with Bob Walk, Tim Everett here at PNC Park, bottom of the 6th. Pirates down 4 runs.
Counterattack. Let's go, boys. Keep those bats going.
Kind of a drizzly, misty sort of night here. It's damp. And Freddie Sanchez provided a spark in the first inning. And the only other run came in the 4th when Brandon Moss led off with an infield single. Andy LaRoche would walk, and then Jason Jaramillo would drive him in. Got to wash the dish. One thing the Pirates haven't had is an inning where they bunched a number of hits together. Just looking for one of those innings, that might be enough. Jeff Suppan deals. And Moss takes strike 1. Full 1 pitch.
Watch Suppan pitch. He's not a hard thrower, as we've said before. You can see that up corner of the radar gun readings, but that sure does not keep him from pitching anybody inside. Doesn't care. He'll come in at you with a fastball on the inside part of the plate all the time, and he knows that he has to do that to open things up for his other pitches.
2-2 now to Brandon Moss. Jeff Suppan has the distinction of being one of a handful of pitchers to have 30+ starts for 10 straight seasons. That's just durability.
And being good.
Very effective.
You got to be effective, or it doesn't matter how healthy you are, you're not going to get those starts.
He's been to the World Series. He's been in the postseason, knows what it's all about. That's wide of first.
Footing out on the mound can't be the best tonight with this constant drizzle going down. There you see the mud in those cleats.
Foul ball.
Again, he throws that fastball. It's only 84 mile an hour, but he still throws it right in on the hands.
The 2-2. Again fouled away. Suppan was active politically a couple of years ago when he appeared in a controversial commercial during the World Series regarding stem cell research. Made a lot of news with that. Moss strikes out, 1 down.
The changeup kind of been a swing and miss pitch for him tonight.
This weekend, it's another edition of Inside Pirates Baseball. It's the only show that gets you up close and personal with your favorite Buccos. Inside Pirates Baseball, driven by your Western Pennsylvania Chevy dealers, and Geico, airs this Saturday at noon here on FSN. One of the things talk about will be this LED board, and they'll explain what the horizontal break means and the vertical break and things like that. There have been a number of fans who had questions about what that is. There's a line shot to center field right in front of Cameron, and Andy LaRoche has a single. Andy has reached base safely all 3 times, once by a fielder's choice, once with a walk, and once with a base hit.
Fastball away from him a little bit. I mentioned right after Moss struck out that changeup is a swing and a miss pitch for Suppan. He really doesn't have a whole lot of swing and miss pitches because he doesn't throw all that hard, to be honest with you. But because he does throw inside, we were talking, you saw that 3 or 4 times when Moss was up there.
Vasquez pops it foul.
That's what makes the changeup that's moving down and away a swing and a miss pitch for him, especially with left-hand hitters.
Vertical break, 7
I
inches.
could tell you what all that is, but I don't want to run the shows. I won't comment on it right now.
You need some diagrams and some.
I won't comment on it right now.
Some pie charts and things like that. That one gets away from Kendall. Going back to the backstop and around second and heading for third is Andy LaRoche. And for the second time on the homestand, we've seen a Pirates runner go first to third on a ball to the backstop.
The first time was catcher being a little lackadaisical. Right here, Kendall, he thinks the ball is under his feet, under the umpire. He's looking all over. And the mistake he makes is he never looks to Suppan. Not one time do I see him look out at Suppan to give him help. Watch him. As he looked at, I don't think he's looking at Suppan at all. And if you don't know where the ball is, that's the pitcher's job, is to be pointing right at it. Now watch Kendall. See if he glances. I think one quick glance is all he took to Suppan. He's pointing over there the whole time. If he would have looked out there right away, he'd have been able to go get the ball and keep LaRoche at second base.
1-2 pitch. Good opportunity for Vasquez now to get a run back for the Pirates. Playing him deep in the infield, get the ball to the right side, and they can pull that ball a little bit, especially out to Weeks. LaRoche can score. See where Milwaukee is playing. They're playing for the out and not the run with a 4-run lead. Two and two to Ramon. Pulled it, but just foul.
Well, I don't know if I'd bet the whole ranch, but I'd bet like most of the barn that this is going to be with that changeup down the way.
2-2 pitch. Inside and low.
Came a curveball. I lost my barn.
There's Seth McClung.
Got nowhere to put the horses now.
Right-hander loosening up to try to back up Jeff Suppan. Suppan now with a 3-2 count on Ramon Vasquez. 1 out, and LaRoche the runner at third. Again, just foul.
He's pulling his fastball. He would love to get a swing and a miss here, obviously. That's why I'm thinking he's got to go with that changeup, but he's not doing it.
Friends reeled him back in. It's not catch and release down there.
Well, that's a keeper.
It's a keeper. Got to keep him. 3-2. And this one to the air. That'll get a run in, and perhaps more. Well, nope. Cameron will catch up to it, make the catch. LaRoche will tag, and he will score. And it is now 6-3. So an RBI on the sacrifice fly by Ramon Vasquez. Looked like he had Cameron turned around a little bit, but the ball hung up in the air for him.
Well, he never did go through for the strikeout with Vasquez up there. He just did not want to walk him. Wanted him to put the ball in play, and was willing to trade that run for that out.
And Ken Maka comes out. Says congratulations to Jeff Suppan. 108 pitches for the veteran right-hander. Our Columbia Gas 811 call to the pen has been made. We'll tell you about Seth McClung when we return. The road ahead from Verizon Wireless. Tomorrow, St. Louis, 8 o'clock Central Time Zone, so an hour later here. Then on Thursday afternoon, the Bucks and the Cards. And then Friday night, no TV, but Saturday and Sunday afternoons at the brand new Citi Field in New York against the Mets. Both daytime games. That's the Verizon Wireless, the road ahead. Busy weekend, and right after this game, the Bucks will head down the road.
We'll take a look at McClung's numbers. Good ERA, but boy, a lot of base runners he's had to deal with.
Jaramillo, nobody on at 2 outs, trying to get something going here. Craig Monroe is out on deck.
I think, 12 hits and 10 walks and 13 innings pitched.
Suppan goes 5 2/3 innings. He was up 3 earned runs on 5 hits. Walked 3, struck out 3. Jaramillo, the big cut and a miss. And Craig Monroe. He will hit for the pitcher Sean Burnett. I wonder if that's his hockey playoff beard.
Could be, I guess. Usually the hockey beards are not quite as well groomed.
No. Fouled off. That got a piece of Jeff Nelson.
Oh, got him square.
Take that one off.
I wonder why the umpires ever agreed not to have those great big balloon things they could hide behind.
I mean, those were pretty. I mean, you never feel a thing. You have
to
hold on to it with one hand and then have that little cutout for
ball never
your chin.
Never get to you. Unless you got it hitting the mask. Yeah.
Kind of like having a shield. You could even raise that thing in front of your mask if you had time. 3-2. And just foul.
I'd be a little uncomfortable holding that all day in a real hot summer afternoon.
Parrott made an attempt.
Back in the cage, Parrott.
It's like he's going deep sea fishing. That outfit. 2 outs and the 3-2 pitch coming again to Jaramillo. He's on board for Craig Monroe.
Not a surprise. See 10 walks in 13 innings that you come in and give a free pass right away.
Well, Monroe's due. The last several instances at the plate has struck out. And Craig, who has the ability to hit the long ball, is due for one pretty soon. So 1 on, 2 out. McClung deals, and that's high. 1 ball, no strikes. The pitch, and Monroe takes a strike. 1-1. I don't know if he liked it too much.
I liked it enough to where he wanted to swing at it. Was upset they didn't pull the trigger. Takes another fastball for a strike. Of course, I'm sorry, I was going to say, of course, with 10 walks up on the board this year for McClung, and then he walks first guy faces. You're down by 3 runs. It's not too smart to swing the first pitch you see.
Pops this one foul, evens. Well, the count won't be even. It'll stay right where it is. 1-2. Talking to Craig a couple of weeks ago about his mom's name, Marilyn Monroe. Said it was pretty interesting when she'd call the doctor or something. They'd say, "Yeah, this is Marilyn Monroe." They'd say, "Yeah, right." Sure it is. And he swings and strikes out, and McClung gets the job done. So Monroe strikes out, and the Pirates trail by 3. Just about 3:20 this afternoon. Pretty early this afternoon. Pirates already out there. Brian Bixler working on balls in the hole. And Jack Wilson on the disabled list working on taking ground balls. Terry Hill, the infield coach, working with him. Jeff Karsten's side session. And Ross Ohlendorf getting ready for his next start as he was out there running pretty early as well as Jack Wilson. So the guys get here early. And a little bit early as far as Tyler Yates is concerned. He'd rather be sitting in the bullpen right now watching the Pirates with a lead, but they trail by 3, so Yates comes on in the top of the 7th inning on a rainy night as the rain is coming down a little bit harder now. Prince Fielder will lead off to be followed by Mike Cameron and Corey Hart.
field looks a little shiny in some places. It's always the way to tell that the moisture is starting to take effect, especially over on the shortstop third base area. You see the lights reflecting off the damp surface.
Fielder, foul ball. You know, Prince and Tony Gwynn Jr. real tight. Tony Gwynn Jr. is down in AAA right now, but they became very good friends while he was with the Milwaukee Brewers. And Prince Fielder is the godfather of Tony Gwynn Jr.'s daughter, Michaela. And Gwynn is the godfather of Fielder's son, Jaden.
Michaela, my oldest granddaughter's name, Michaela.
That's a coincidence.
Yes, it is.
But Gwynn was disappointed not to make the team. Chris Duffy had a lot of reason to do that. I talked to Chris during batting practice today. He said he was on pins and needles at the end of spring training because he'd been out of the game for a year and a half, and he felt that he had a pretty good spring. He said his mind knew what to do and hoped that his body followed it, and it did for him during spring training, and he ended up making the big club, and at the expense of Tony Gwynn Jr. Talking to Tony Sr. while we were in San Diego, he said that it's probably to the point now with Tony Jr. He's been taken off the 40-man roster that he'll have to probably look for another organization to play with if he has any hopes to get to the big leagues. You've been with an organization for a handful of years and they've taken you off the 40-man after having big league time. They've pretty much given up on you.
Get out while the getting's good. You need to start over somewhere else.
2-2, and Fielder fouls it away. Tyler Yates trying to get it out. He got one last night. He was called upon to pitch to Ricky Weeks. Got it to 3-2, threw a pitch on the inside part of the plate. Weeks thought he checked his swing. He appealed to first, and he got rung up. And this ball to center field. Shallow, backpedaling is Vasquez, and he'll make the catch. Well, Chris Duffy is not in the lineup tonight. The former Pirate made an exceptional catch off the bat of Adam LaRoche. Tremendous catch last night.
Still had a lot of fans out there. I could hear some people clapping and telling me what a great catch that was. But the PNC Park crowd was thrilled by his defense many a night.
He can go get it. This is Cameron with a swinging strike. One away for the Brewers in the top of the 7th inning.
Nothing wrong with Yates' fastball tonight. We had 95. Scoreboard had 96. Rushing it up there as usual.
0-1 is just outside.
Another 95.
Why is it that different guns have different speeds? Sometimes scouts who will sit there with radar guns might get a different reading, 1 mile an hour one way or another.
I'm not real sure. I wish that wasn't the case, though, because it's frustrating sometimes to really get a handle on what's going on. And that's why most scouts, you know, there'll be 10 of them back there, and it's not like they're all using the one gun. They'll all have their own gun just for that reason. That they want the gun that they've been using so that the radar readings, when they compare them to other guys, it means something. And I guess
Cameron hammers this one deep to center field. Going back on it is McLeod. Is back up against the wall. He's got it.
I guess the only explanation that I've heard that makes a lot of sense to me is the different guns will pick the ball up at different places on its flight from the hand to the catcher's glove. And common sense tells you that if it picks it up a foot out of his hand, that's going to be a lot faster reading than a gun that picks up the speed of the baseball 5 feet in front of home plate. We have that board that shows all the speeds out there, and actually it gives 2 different speeds.
Corey Hart takes the ball. Now,
it gives a high speed, which is somewhere at release, and then it gives another speed, how fast it was as it crosses home plate. And what I've seen so far this year is it's about an 8-mile-an-hour difference.
1-0 to Hart. Takes a strike.
There you go. 94 at release, at plate 86. There's your 8-mile-an-hour. So now if you have other guns that are picking the ball up somewhere in between those two, that's probably your differences in the different gun speeds.
Strike 2 to Hart. Boy, Yates brought it up there. Challenged Hart and swung through it. 2 outs, top of the 7th. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Corey Hart. Hart's had a pretty good night. Scored 3 runs of the 6 for Milwaukee. 1-2. Romeo held it there. He wanted it on the corner.
Move the glove. When you move the glove, it's like telling the umpire it was a ball. You catch it and then bring it down. If it wasn't a ball, you wouldn't have brought it down.
Count is full, 3-2. So Yates has gone full to Corey Hart. Setting up outside. And he gets it. Corey Hart has a seat, and Tyler Yates has a good 7th. It is stretch time here, middle of the 7th, 6-3 Milwaukee. Time for the Levin Furniture 7th inning stretch.
Baseball on FSN Pittsburgh is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines has low fares with no hidden fees. Book now at Southwest.com, where what you see is what you pay.
Beautiful downtown Pittsburgh. Take a picture of it. Create your own Pirates collectible using your favorite photos at the photo store on Pirates.com. Just upload your photo. Choose from prints, mugs, magnets, and more. Place your order, and you're done. In 3 easy steps, you can make your very own Pirates memory. Go to Pirates.com today. photographers and camera people today. They're earning it today.
Miserable day to be out there.
Appreciate what our crew is doing.
Miserable night. Really wasn't too bad of a day. Game time, this fog, drizzle, or whatever you want to call it, moved in, and it's just sat here for 6.5 innings.
Yep, everybody's moved up under cover. Nyjer Morgan to lead things off, top of the order for the Pirates in the bottom of the 7th inning, trailing by 3 runs. Pirates still with 9 more outs to work with tonight. Trying to come back on Milwaukee. Milwaukee has been a thorn in the Pirates' side, to say the least. Nyjer Morgan.
Is it 16 straight now?
16 straight. Seth McClung will replace Jeff Suppan with 2 outs in the 6th. Starts his first full inning of work.
Probably need to be a little patient with McClung. At least make the attempt here. And see if you can get something started with a base on balls or 2.
Two balls and a strike.
You look at the stat page, it sure says he'll walk you if you give him half a chance.
Sanchez waiting for his opportunity. 2-1 to Morgan. He hits this one toward the middle. A little late jump out of the box, and J.J. Hardy throws him out.
And normally that would have been much closer.
Well, Freddie Sanchez coming to the plate. And smile because it's the play that made you smile from Aspen Dental. For a while, you thought that possibly he was not going to come back in as he sort of collapsed into a heap after making this play early in the ball game. Top of the 1st inning, hanging that shoulder. Then he says he's okay. Comes out
and hits a home run.
Hammers a home run.
That last pitch to Morgan ate him up inside, jammed him real bad. That'll always get you a step slower coming out of that box.
Pirates need a base runner here. McClung into the line and the pitch. 1-0 is hit in the air to center field. That backs up Cameron. He is there for the 2nd out. So Sanchez now 1 for 3. Mitch Stetter, left-handed, getting loose now. More activity for the Pirates too. Evan Meek appears like he's going to get some action. Nate McLouth with 2 down takes the ball. Jeff Suppan started, went 5 2/3 for Milwaukee. And Snell went 5+. Had 4 hits, but he walked 5, gave up 4 runs. You know, to Nate.
Looking at the schedule this month, only a couple of days off. Really going to be important for the Pirates starting pitchers to be consistent going deep into ball games, 6, 7, 8 innings. Take it easy in that bullpen because there's not going to be days to rest.
That's right. So Adam LaRoche now will take his chances against Seth McClung with a man aboard, Nate McLouth. Well, you look at the schedule again, the only 2 off days the entire month are May 11th after the Sunday game against the Mets this weekend, and then a long stretch including a 10-game road trip, 4 with Washington, 3 with the White Sox, and 3 with the Cubs mixed in there. And the next off day will be the 28th. It's a Thursday, so only 2 off days in May. Ken Maka coming out. Looks like he's going to make a double switch.
He wants the lefty to pitch to LaRoche.
Take Hart out of there. Corey Hart is, Hart's coming out. Chris Duffy's going into right field. And here comes Mitch Stetter. Our Columbia Gas 811 call to the pen has been made. Milwaukee makes a double switch. We'll tell you all about it when we return to PNC Park. Chris Duffy went in as part of the double switch. He will hit third in the top of the 8th inning. And Mitch Stetter delivers to LaRoche, who pops this one up to right center field. And Duffy makes the catch. And for the second night in a row, he retires Adam LaRoche, put out in the outfield. So Stetter didn't break a sweat. 6-3 Milwaukee.
After the game and just taking my jersey off and just felt a real sharp pain in the back of my elbow, and I went in and said something, and they wanted to get it checked out, so we went and did it, and I think the news we got today was about the best news we could have got with it.
Matt Capps talking earlier about the discomfort he felt in his right elbow. Had an MRI today. No damage to the ligaments. Last night had a tough outing. Got hung for the loss and a blown save, but he will be sitting down for a couple of days, at least until Friday.
Brad Henderson just has too much work going on right now. A lot of early season injuries in the Pirates.
It'll be a challenge to get everybody healthy and playing well at the same time. So hopefully that'll be the case sooner rather than later. J.J. Hardy takes one up and in from Evan Meek, who was on to replace Tyler Yates. After being called up from AAA Indianapolis, Meek is appearing in his 5th game. Thought Evan Meek pitched well in his last outing. That was against Cincinnati on Sunday. He was called upon to replace Jeff Karstens and fill the role of a long reliever, and went 3 innings, giving up a hit, no runs, walked 2, struck out 1. And that role is something that the Pirates don't necessarily have anybody defined for, but Evan Meek pitched very well and opened up some eyes.
Well, when you're in that situation, you do what you're called to do. If that's the job that's available here in the big leagues, you got to be very happy to have that job. And if he's going to be a long man and go out there early in a ball game and have to throw 3 in relief, so be it. You do it. You don't complain. That's usually the bottom rung on the totem pole down there in the bullpen, but so what? It's a job, and you work your way up.
Meek gets that one past J.J. Hardy, who's had himself a night. 4 runs batted in for J.J. Hardy. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And he walked him. One thing we didn't see a lot of at the beginning of the season through the first 3 weeks in April, no walks, not very many walks. Now the walks are becoming infectious, and we're seeing a lot more walks out of the Pirate staff. Ian Snell walked 5. Jesse Chavez walked 2 tonight, including walking in a man. That's the 8th walk of the game by the Pirate staff. Pops out of the glove of Jaramillo.
Pirates, I hate to bring up bad things, but it's over 650 walks last year. That was just a disaster. And I know I've probably said it too much, but I'll say it again, that is the spot that has to be the biggest change for these pitchers. They have to pound the strike zone. Even if they start giving up a ton of home runs or hits, I don't care. Throw strikes. No more base on balls.
We saw the stopwatch in the right hand of Ed Cedar, the first base coach. I know you have a stopwatch too that you take out time and time again. You're just timing the pitcher's release.
I watched the yeah, I was trying to think of something clever coming out there. Yeah, that's what it's for most of the time. Yeah, let's get the time. What do we do here? We got a balk for some reason.
Well, he's putting Jason Kendall on. Jeff Nelson explaining to Evan Meek.
Ball 4 went to his mouth. Went to his mouth on the.
Yeah, he went to his mouth on ball 3. Yeah. So they'll add a ball, and it happened to be ball 4. So 2 walks for Meek, and not the way that he wanted to start this thing off. And quickly more activity in the Pirates bullpen.
There, he went to his mouth again, but he's on the grass. Can't do that on the dirt. Yeah, that watch that all the first base coaches have. Yeah, they start it as soon as the pitcher makes his first move, and they stop it when the ball hits the catcher's glove, and then they know what kind of a chance they have for their runner to steal second.
Duffy bunts. Meek will take the out at first. One down, runners at second and third now for the Brewers. Well, the infield will be drawn in now. 3-run ball game. Top of the 8th inning. Although the third baseman Andy LaRoche is going to play in back of the bag a little bit. So the middle infielders are in on the grass. Corner infielders are back a step. Pitch to Ricky Weeks is a strike. Nothing in one to Ricky Weeks. Weeks is 0 for 3 with a walk. One and one now to Weeks. I'd like to have a leadoff man with 6 home runs.
Used to have one here. A guy named Barry Bonds. Led off for a while before they realized that he was more valuable hitting in that number 5 spot.
Barry's been showing up lately in San Francisco at the ballpark.
Saw that. Yeah,
got a different approach on trying to get a job now.
Yeah.
I thought his comments
like honey instead of vinegar.
Yeah, did you hear his comments saying that he, Barry does not have the best reputation as a guy to be around. Although players will tell you they like him, that have played with him, but some players will tell you they didn't like him. But at the same time, he says he created that character. Says that persona he had on the field and around the ballpark was a character he created and is not the real him. And now he's trying to let the real him come out. Three-1 to Weeks. Big cut. He was trying to hit that one to the east side.
Well, I would say that there is a little bit of truth to that. I don't know how much.
3-2 to Weeks. Yeah, Barry Bonds insists he's not retired. He's just waiting to get signed. 3-2. This one is down to third. LaRoche is going to come home, and they've got him easily. J.J. Hardy cut down at the plate. So it stays a 3-run lead.
Yeah, they're going on contact. Hardy digging all the way. The play's behind him, so he really can't tell if he's going to be an easy out or not. If the ground ball's over on the other side of the infield, you can kind of see you're going to be out for sure. Or you can throw the brakes on, try to get in a rundown, and let the player that hit the ball try and get himself into second base, and then nothing has really changed. Still second, third. You can't really do that when the ball's hit behind you to the third baseman. You don't have eyes in the back of your head. You just got to go for it.
Craig Counsell, graduate of the University of Notre Dame, born in South Bend, Indiana. Got his degree in accounting.
It's always a good degree for a baseball player.
Helps you with the reason you play so long, the money. People call him Rudy. You know, the real Rudy lives in Las Vegas. Daniel Rudiger has a company there that does all kinds of motivational speaking. Went out to the desert several years ago. 0-1. And Counsell lines this one to left field. That's going to get into the corner. Coming in to score is Kendall. And being waved around is Ricky Weeks. 2 runs will score in the double by Craig Counsell. It's 8-3.
Yeah, that kind of put a cap on it. It's going to be a very tough comeback now. Hoping that the Pirates could do something just down by 3, but that extra 2 runs, that's going to make it tough. We have Trevor Hoffman down there for the 9th.
Ryan Braun with Counsell at second base and 2 down. Weeks pitch on the corner for a strike.
Pete made a good point. Trevor, we won't see him in the ninth if it stays at 5, but if they need Hoffman, they do. If we try to make a comeback and start getting something going, then they would always have him in reserve.
Talk about Pete Toma, our producer. And Ryan Braun hits this one deep to left field. Nyjer Morgan on the run. Up in the north side. Notch makes a great grab. Play by Nyjer Morgan to end the inning. But a couple of runs come across. And Ryan Braun is retired on this defensive play. First pitch of the bottom of the 8th. Pirates down by 5 runs. Brandon Moss, then Andy LaRoche and Ramon Vasquez. Facing left-hander Mitch Stetter. Came in through 1 pitch and got a flyout by Adam LaRoche. I think Stetter exerted more energy running in from the bullpen than he did getting the final out of the 7th. Tough pitch for a left-hander when you throw from way outside that way. Cuts in across the front of him.
Yeah, the hitter, it's almost like he's having to look back over his shoulder to find the ball. He's coming in from the first base coach's box.
Works on the first base side. So that makes it come from either farther outside. That's going to be ball 4, and Moss is aboard. In case you missed it, around the major leagues, Jorge Posada has a hamstring injury. He's on the 15-day DL. Rick Ankiel released from the hospital. Word from St. Louis earlier today said he's okay, a little bit sore, but they might put him on the DL. We'll see. We'll be there tomorrow and find out. Dodgers trying to equal the 1912 Tigers mark of winning the first 12 home games of the season. They're going against Arizona later tonight. And Ryan Zimmerman has extended his hitting streak to 23 games. Houston and Washington tied at 10 in the 11th inning. That game has been suspended. Played it earlier today. And
it's like a spring training game. They only had pitchers for 11.
That's it. Or Japan. You go to 11 innings, you're done, regardless of the outcome. To LaRoche's in there.
I'm guessing it was rain that they.
Rain, of course. Yeah. That's why they didn't just say it's 11 innings. We got to go.
That's it.
A-Rod hit 2 home runs in a minor league game today. There's LaRoche, bangs it down to short. J.J. Hardy bobbles it, and they managed to get the force out at second base on the toss to Weeks. Every move A-Rod makes in rehab is followed. Everything he's doing in the minor leagues right now is followed closely.
Everything he does, period, is Favre.
Incredible.
Speaking of the Yankees, they're going down to defeat again tonight. It looks like trailing 6-3 in the 8th to the hated Red Sox.
Depends what side of the fence you're on. Jacoby Ellsbury won't be stealing home anytime soon. Reports are he's got a bit of a hamstring injury, had to leave the game. Ramon Vasquez takes outside for a ball, 1-1. But whenever Boston and New York play, it's kind of like that's the only game going on in the country. There's a lot more going on. I mean, the way that the networks make it appear is that that's it. It gets ratings. That's why every game seems to be on. In the northeast part of the country, I guess throughout a good part of the country, it is. You know what's funny though, Bob, is traveling internationally the last several years. Been over in Europe and been over in Asia. The two hats that you see people wearing, Red Sox and Yankees. People from those countries, that they follow those two teams pretty heavily. Vasquez pops this one up. Counsell gives it a look over by the tarp, and that's out of play.
Are the Yankee hats navy blue, or are they all different colors? Because that's why I don't get that. I see all these different colored Yankee hats. I know that that's popular. I never really get that. If you're a Yankee fan, wear a Yankee hat.
Pirate hats sell really well. I saw a lot of those this winter.
Yeah, pirate hats are big.
Traveling around different parts of the country this winter, I just happened to notice them. A lot of them. 3-2 pitch, and Vasquez fouls it away again. I guess it's one of those classic hats. You know, you have all the new caps that are out there. I mean, that's just a classic cap. Now, that's a real classic cap there.
You don't see a lot of those.
Pillbox hat. Got a couple of stars on there, too. 3-2, and Vasquez stays alive.
Yeah, the black hat with the gold P. That's not classic.
That one's gone away.
I'm not real happy with that hat. Never liked the red.
That's the alternate cap. There's a classic. And Vasquez has walked. So down to second goes LaRoche, and down to first, Ramon Vasquez. Here comes Jason Jaramillo. Another different look. Bill Castro, the pitching coach, comes out. Well, it's going to be a tough May. Only 2 days off in the month of May for the Pirates. On the 11th and then later on the 28th. That's a tough road trip. Washington for 4. And back-to-back with the White Sox and Cubs. Cardinals for 3. Rockies for 3 at home. Following the next road trip to St. Louis starting tomorrow. And then the Mets. Looking forward to seeing the new yard.
I am. I really will enjoy that. It doesn't matter what it looks like, anything about it. It's going to be way better than the old ballpark. They could have built a disaster, and I still will love it over Shea.
1-0 to Jaramillo, hitting right-handed for just the 3rd time this year. He's 1 for 2 right-handed. And he hits this one foul into the seats on the right side.
I'm glad they decided just to build it though right next to Shea, because it's a real nice area there.
Yeah.
I'm glad they didn't move it.
You know, you take that number 7 train out to Flushing, and you want the train to go fast. You don't want to get stuck. I've seen some different interesting characters walking along the train tracks there on the way out there. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Giants high, 2-2.
But I am looking forward to it. It's going to be nice. I would like to see Yankee Stadium too. See what $1.5 billion buys you.
This one is in the air to right center field. Duffy. Runners cannot go anywhere. 2 men are out. And Delwyn Young will pinch hit. Well, $1.5 billion can buy you a third place team in the American League East.
I don't know if I've ever met anyone that dislikes the Yankees more than you.
I don't dislike them. I'm just telling you they're in third place.
You dislike them. Everybody, I want everyone to know out there. Tim dislikes the Yankees, and it's way beyond dislike, believe me, but I'm just going to say dislike.
Well, I went to school in Boston. I lived 3 blocks from the Green Monster when I was there. There's a shot to the alley in right center field. LaRoche will come around third. He'll score. Delwyn Young's going to turn it and stop at second base. Vasquez will come in. A 2-run double for Delwyn Young. It's now 8-5, and Young has excelled in that pinch hitting role.
Yeah, there's why those 2 runs were so important last inning. They just killed us. We come up with a big hit here as Young fires one up the alley with a couple of guys on, and all it did was get our 2 runs back that we gave him before.
Well, one thing about Delwyn Young is the Pirates are trying to find a way to get him a start pretty soon. He's been working hard at second base. He's a second baseman converted to the outfield.
It's hard to get him in at second base. Freddie is one of our best hitters. They're just
they like his bat. They want to get his bat in the lineup more. Andrew Morgan. Swing 0-2.
The problem with his playing the outfield is you already have a couple of outfielders, and Hinske and Monroe, that you also are trying to find at bats for to keep them sharp. Not easy to find a start for him.
Foul tip and a strikeout for Nyjer Morgan. Pirates get 2 back. We'll go to the 9th inning. It's a 3-run lead for Milwaukee. Over the Pirates here at PNC Park. Support the Pittsburgh Fallen Heroes and thank everyone that protects and serves to make us safer. Visit FSNinsider.com today and order your Fallen Heroes t-shirt. All proceeds are evenly distributed between the Heroes families. Prince Fielder getting set to lead off the top of the 9th, and he'll do it against Donnie Veal. Donnie getting a chance to pitch here.
He had a whole lot of opportunities.
It's his third time.
Up there at the top. 2 games. And we are in the March, or excuse me, in the May. Starts with an M.
One of those M months.
Yeah, it's an M month. Let's see. April 19th versus Atlanta was the last time Donnie was in the game.
Well, Veal is a guy that the organization really is high on. He gets a lot of work. Side sessions. He works hard with Joe Kerrigan, and he hits Prince Fielder. Milwaukee gets hit more than anybody in baseball. For whatever reason, the Brewers have been hit more times than anybody else.
Well, Veal, his problem, the reason he's available as a Rule 5 draft is his problem is control. He's got a strong arm, left-handed, big, strong frame, but he has never really been able to command the pitches and throw enough strikes. So the Pirates are trying to kind of hide him best they can, and as a kind of a development project for the future. If they can get him in the strike zone on a consistent basis, I mean, you got a real find there. But sometimes it's hard to do, to carry that extra pitcher, and he's only pitching once every couple weeks.
And Veal delivers a strike to Mike Cameron.
And if the control is the problem with whoever the pitcher may be in the first place, pitching every couple weeks even makes it a little worse sometimes when he gets in there. Now, just about everybody that's gone out there tonight has had a hard time throwing strikes, so could be having problems with footing on the mound. Brewer pitchers haven't thrown a lot of strikes.
This one gets away. Pitch in the dirt. Down to second goes Fielder. What Donnie has said about going out there so infrequently is that when he does get his opportunities, it's like his first game all over again.
Yep. It's not easy. I mean, you can throw till the cows come home out in the bullpen, and it is not the same as when you have hitters up there and adrenaline, and it's a Major League Baseball game. It doesn't matter if the score is out of hand or anything. It's a different feeling.
2 balls, 2 strikes now to Mike Cameron. Cameron without a hit. Put into a double play back in the second inning. And Donnie Veal looking for an out. He's got Fielder behind him at second. And this one is hit to center field right at Nate McLouth. So to hit for the pitcher now, Casey McGee. As Stetter was inserted into the 6th spot for Corey Hart as part of a double switch when Duffy entered the game. Casey McGee started at third base in last night's ball game. Oh for 4 in that game too. Donnie Veal came over from the Cubs organization, Rule 5 guy, and is getting an opportunity here tonight in a 3-run game.
For folks at home, if you have somebody in your minor leagues that's been there over a certain amount of time, and you don't put them on the 40-man roster, then they become eligible for other teams to draft them in what they call a Rule 5 draft. And that's the best explanation I can give you as to what it's all about. So you try to identify your future players, future big leaguers, as quick as you can in the minor leagues, so that you know who you want to protect by putting them on your 40-man roster and who you don't think are going to make it. And you hope you do the right thing and you don't let somebody get away that you regret later on.
The 0-2. used.
Pirates lost Bobby Bonilla years ago in the Rule 5 draft. Had to then trade to get him back. That's an example of how a player might move around. Evan Meek was a Rule 5 pick of ours last year.
To left center, fairly deep. On the run is Nyjer Morgan. Morgan makes the catch on the track. He's covering a lot of ground out there.
When a ball's hit that high, it's going to be awfully difficult for it to fall in with the speed that we have in left and center. You're going to have that much hang time, you better get it over the fence, or one of those two guys is going to run it down.
Morgan gets the out. And there are now 2 men down for J.J. Hardy. So Hardy 3 for 3 tonight. You go 3 for 3 and your average only goes up to 195. Means he hasn't had a lot of success in the early part of the season, but things will even out. J.J. Hardy, a good track record when it comes to hitting the baseball. The 1-0 is inside and low. Veal had good opportunities in spring training, and sometimes he'd come in and was picture perfect, and then other days he would come in and walk some guys around. Walked 4 men in 1 inning once and ended up picking up the win. The game was so crazy. Three and 0 to J.J. Hardy. And he walked him. 2-out walk. So now Fielder at second and J.J. Hardy at first, and here's Jason Kendall. Kendall 1 for 3 tonight.
Jason hearing a few boos from the crowd.
Jason spent, you would probably agree, the best part of his career here at Pittsburgh.
Yep.
And he is behind 0-2. 0-2 to Jason Kendall, top of the 9th inning. In the bottom of the 9th, it'll be Sanchez, McLouth, and LaRoche. Pirates need to somehow generate 3 runs if they want to extend the game, 4 to win it. And Kendall strikes out. Veal gets him on 3 pitches. Last raps for the Pirates coming up from PNC Park. Down 3 runs. men on. Tomorrow, St. Louis is the destination. And the Pirates will take on the Cardinals in game 1 of a short 2-game series. Mitchell Boggs will go for the Cardinals, and Zach Duke, who has pitched extremely well this year, will get the start for the Bucks. That's tomorrow, 8 o'clock. First pitch right here on FSN. Coverage starts at 7:30. Carlos Villanueva, the new pitcher for Milwaukee, trying to close it out. It is a save situation. He does have one already. Two already. I wonder why we wouldn't see Trevor Hoffman.
I was just running that through my mind. They're figuring that the 3-run cushion, they're good enough and try and give him the night off.
And they're paying him to get saves.
Well, he didn't pitch in a save situation the last game they beat us up in Milwaukee. Right. He was coming off the DL. Maybe they didn't want to throw him 3 games in a row.
1-1 pitch, slapped foul again by Sanchez.
Cold, damp night. He had a ribcage problem, right?
Or oblique.
So maybe they're just being conservative early in the season, month of May, just wanting to keep him out there with that jacket on.
Sanchez and Duffy races in and takes a possible hit away from Sanchez. Pirates are down to their final 2 outs tonight. Trevor Hoffman pitched on Tuesday and Thursday and had back-to-back appearances Sunday and yesterday.
I bet you they're trying to not use him, at least early here in the year, after that problem with his oblique. Trying to keep him from throwing 3 days in a row.
Nate McLouth at the plate tonight. Nate without a hit, 0 for 3. He walked in the 7th inning. Started the day at 306, now down to 293. 2 balls and no strikes. Carlos Villanueva trying to find the strike zone. McLouth is 2 for 9 career against Villanueva. Two balls and a strike. Good thing it's not a day game tomorrow. Two and two now to McLouth. It is a day game on Thursday, however, so
yeah, sometimes I really wonder about the schedule makers. We had a day game. Our last day in Milwaukee was that a Wednesday?
Yes.
We had a Wednesday day game and we had an off day the next day. So now the team's playing in a different time zone tomorrow, and we're playing a night game. Makes up these rules.
McLouth bangs this one down the line just foul.
By the way, I know who makes up the rules. I'm being sarcastic.
Yeah, you know who makes the rules. But
the Players Association makes up the rules. They want their players to have day games before a day off. Used to be,
or a travel day.
It used to be opposite.
Yeah. So the day game on Thursday, and then a flight to New York at night, and a night game Friday, followed by back-to-back day games. Saturday, Sunday, Mother's Day. McLouth went after that high pitch and struck out.
They used to have, if you were playing the next day, you'd have a day game, so you didn't get in it early in the morning. And if you had a day off the next day, then you would have a night game because it didn't make any difference. But now they flip-flopped it and took common sense out of the equation.
Adam LaRoche represents the last hope for the Pirates tonight. 0-1. LaRoche grounded out in the first, struck out in the third, flied out to left in the fifth, and then flied out to right in the seventh. Villanueva looking for his third save. Two outs, bottom of the ninth. That one is high and inside. Milwaukee looking to go 5-0 against the Pirates this year. One strike. LaRoche with 5 home runs, 14 runs batted in. Brandon Moss hoping he's not swinging that bat for nothing. 2-1 pitch. And this one is to the right side. Prince Fielder has to backhand. Tosses to Villanueva covering, and that's the ball game. 8-5 the final score. Milwaukee has won 5 straight this season, 17 in a row. And for whatever reason,